I can't use names, we're recruiting a tight end that has Brock Bowers type traits, but he's not there yet, right? He's probably 25 pounds light. He needs 18 months in the weight room. He looks like Brock looked like, though, in high school. But what the Power Fives are doing is they're waiting for UAB or Tulane or UTSA or Samford or somebody else to find this kid and develop him and then go get him and pay him. Well, we developed him, right? We've invested in that kid. We've loved that kid. We fed that kid. We've trained that kid. He's learned our system. We've been patient with him when he sleeps in and misses class. And, all those different things go through the college student. We've invested in him as, group of fives or lower levels FCS programs. And then the big programs with all the money come in and swipe them away. And the haves look at the have-nots as developmental rosters for the minor leagues. If you're for the Yankees and you're poaching the Orioles minor league club, right? If you're the NBA team, if you're the Pelicans and you're poaching the G League team of the Warriors, you're letting somebody else develop and then you're paying them. And that's why collectives, Magic City Impact, are so important, because I got some really good players, as you can tell, who are young, who everybody in America is cutting up their film right now. So every Power 5 personnel department has analysts. All they do is go cut up the film from the previous week of all the group of fives players. And they're doing these 100-play cut-ups. So these players like, oh, so-and-so from UAB is a really productive young player that could help us. Well, then through a third party or an agent or some creative way, they contact that family and that kid and say, hey, we got all this money for you. And that's the problem. The recruiting stuff, that's a little overblown. I think there are guys getting money in recruiting, but not nearly as much as the poaching of players from current rosters.
Yeah, great answer.
That is a fantastic answer. I'm not a recruiting analyst, but that kid that looks like Brock Bowers, you're going to want to sign him, okay?
He's special.
Yeah,
he really is. I hope we get him, but I hope we get him and keep him.
I hope so, too. UAB at UTSA, 7 o'clock, ESPNU from the Alamo Dome. Best of luck, Coach. We can't wait to see the game and talk to you about it next week.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Take care. That is Coach Trent Dilfer with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline presented by Legacy.
Yeah, LegacyCreditUnion.com for all that they have to offer right there. Also by our friends at Hemphill. They got a great offer right now in the month of October.
They sure do, Dunaway. 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you for the month of October. 0% for 60 months for qualified customers, plus free Wi-Fi upgrade, 10-year labor warranty on any system replacement, and $69 fall tune-ups. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop at Train Hemp Hill Services.
Brian Edwards, who works out of Vegas. I followed him on Twitter for quite a while. Vegas B. Edwards on Twitter. And he's just kind of an analyst out there. In its last 17 games against Power 5 opponents, Auburn. Now, he counts Houston as a Power 5. They were not a Power 5 when they played them in the bowl game, but they are now. So he counted them. Last 17 games against Power 5 opponents. What do you imagine Auburn's record is?
I would say that they are 4-13.
I'm going to say 5-12.
3-14. You weren't even bad enough.
Yeah.
3-14.
Here's a coach fired.
Here's the one that blew me away, though. In their last six against Power 5 games, they haven't even thrown for 100 yards. 6 consecutive games they haven't thrown for 100 yards against Power 5.
100 yards?
I mean, that's what he says. Auburn has failed to produce more than 94 pass yards in 6 straight games against Power 5 opponents.
How many 80-pound over-the-mountain teams have gone that long without 100 yards?
That is not a lot to ask, is it? 100 pass yards. And that he says, I haven't done the math here, but 6 straight Power 5 games, they haven't done that. That's crazy to think about.
That is.
I don't even think you believe it, Dunaway.
I don't. I just don't like the way you ended on a bad stat for Auburn to end the show. If you're an Auburn fan, you got to sleep with that all night.
Well, give us something good about the Braves.
You're not going to bait me in, man. Big game tonight for the Braves. That's all I'll say. Just after 7 o'clock. That's our show today. We've got a bonus clip coming up here at the top of the hour. Thank you to our friends at Champies, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew, they bring you this hour of the show. Go like, subscribe, and thumbs up everything. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
End of the road for the Braves. Crazy Thursday night college football. Getting a little petty in the Phillies locker room, I think, as they celebrate. There's bad blood in the NFL between an analyst who just seems to be an angry old guy now and a former Alabama wide receiver. We'll get to all of that going up. Maybe all of that in the first segment. We'll do the pick three. Lunsford's at the controls of the pick three again. Go to nextroundlive.com. You can do pick three all the way up to the kick tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. on all the games you pick. You go 3-0. You get a ball in the bucket. Here we go, man. Let's start with the Braves. You can
Lunsford's the one taunting them. Did you see that?
No.
Hey, welcome to hockey season, Braves fans.
You can blame me if you want to, or you can blame starting pitching that was a over 6 ERA. You can blame Ronald Acuna, who was 2 of 14. Hard to believe Acuna and Mookie Betts are combined 2 of 25 in the postseason.
Yeah, look, and somebody in the chat room, I forgot who it was, Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room, 4 great locations for you, pointed out, how do the Braves have this offense during the regular season and forget how to hit? How did Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman forget how to hit? I mean, typically postseason pitching is better, not for the Dodgers this year, but there is something about that layoff. The 4 best records in baseball, they're all sitting home.
You're right. 100-plus win Orioles, 104-win Braves, 100-plus win Dodgers, 99-win Tampa Bay. Did not win a series. None of them won a series.
I think you do have to recheck the format.
Rob Manfred saying yesterday it's only been 2 years. No change is in the works. 2026 would be the earliest unless the players, the union, comes back and say they want to do it because it has to be collective bargain. So if the players don't want to change it, hey, you know who don't want to change it? The Phillies.
Yeah, I don't think you get them to vote right now.
It works for them.
Works for the Astros every year.
Hey, the Phillies were double-digit games behind the Braves in the regular season, and they've done it back-to-back years, eliminating them. Astros now the favorite to win the World Series. The Phillies are second, plus 185 for Houston, plus 210 for the Phillies. Then Texas at plus 295, and Arizona, who's in this thing with 84 wins in the regular season. That's barely over 500.
I know. And
they're
again, the
in
Dodgers
the Final Four.
Dominated that division and then swept out the D-backs, the team that did creep in. They've yet to lose in the postseason. Postseason baseball is just weird. But this Philly team is a team I would not want to play right now.
Nick Castellanos said after the game when he was being interviewed on Fox, or what was it, TBS, on TBS, he just said...
Well, he asked the guy, you gonna ask me a question?
Yeah, is there a question? He
had a statement.
Yeah, he complimented and he's like, I hit the ball far, whatever you want to say there. He said, is there a question in there? And then he got to the point where he said postseason baseball is different than regular season baseball. And it really is. I don't know why.
It is.
Every pitch is scrutinized. Every play is scrutinized. It's just more intensity. It's a better product than regular season baseball.
You can feel the energy, really, with every pitch. And I forgot who the dude was on the field that was doing the interview, older gentleman. But he had Bryce Harper right before. And Harper said, hey, this is why you spend money. People looked at that Castellanos deal, 5 years, $100 million, and you saw that roll on the ticker, and people are like, why? And you knew why they gave Trey Turner and Bryce Harper the money, but this is why you spend money. Doesn't work for the Dodgers, but you spend money to get results, and it's working out for the Phillies. Now, can they close the deal? We'll see.
But it's amazing that the Braves play this whole series as the best offensive team. 4 games in this series. Best offensive team in baseball.
One of the best in history.
Historical numbers statistically, and they had 2 good innings. 2 good innings in 4 games.
Yep.
Those 2 innings, by the way, I call good innings. They scored 2 runs in each of those innings. The 7th and the 8th of game 2? Yeah, 7th and 8th goes in after bat in the 9th. 7th and 8th of game 2. I mean, that's 2 runs done away. That's not even a really good inning in most cases, but in this series, that was it for the Braves. I don't know how you can be that good offensively and have 2 good innings out of 4 full games. That just makes no sense to me.
We can't play you the celebration in the locker room, but if you've ever been to an Alabama game, they play Dixieland Delight, and here's the celebration. I'll just do the words for you. It's like, go Phils, against the wall, And they're doing all the things they do in the student section in Alabama.
These are the Phillies players.
These are the Phillies players in their celebration against the wall all night. And at the end, they go, F the Braves. It gets beeped out and I got it on my social platform. If you want to go see it, it's a direct, it's exactly the way they do it in Tuscaloosa. And now they do it in Tennessee and Jordan Hare when they beat Alabama. But the Phillies were doing that to the Braves last night. And
unlike Orlando Arcia, they're not going to walk it back and say that wasn't meant to be heard.
No. They released it. Yes.
In fact, LT, they had these T-shirts on as they're doing the celebration. Attaboy Harper, on the back of it, he wasn't supposed to hear that.
I did not see that.
He wasn't supposed to hear it.
I mean, my gosh, they got petty, didn't they? But they turned that pettiness into just smashing the baseball.
And they're drinking the king of beers right there, the folks at Budweiser.
Attaboy.
And our friends at Bud Light.
I am blown away. Like Dunaway told me, Brown, have you seen the video of the Phillies' reaction with Dixieland Delight? And I was like, that's kind of a weird sentence there. Dixieland Delight and the Phillies. I don't.
The Phillies do look like a bunch of hillbillies.
Yeah, but I was like, he said they were singing the same lyrics the Alabama fans sing, and I was like, wow. So he's playing it over there, and I was like, so that's in the stands after they. It goes, bro, that's the Phillies team.
Yeah,
I was like,
what bar is that? Is that the fans?
I said,
stands?
Yes, it was in the stands or at a bar after the game. He goes,
I said, no, it's the freaking team.
Brown, it's in the clubhouse. This is the team. I was like, you mean to tell me the Phillies players know the alternate? A, the Phillies players know Dixieland Delight. B, they know the alternate lyrics to Dixieland Delight. How is that even possible?
Oh, if you saw
the wall, I know.
If you saw them lined up at a bar with like dirty fingernails, drinking Old Crow after a hard 7 to 5 shift,
hey, those people can hang out at the Floribama with us, I think.
Oh, Phillies fans?
They'd blend right in.
I bet they would.
Yeah, they'd blend right in.
I don't know, man. They got a little harder edge than most of the people that are at the Floribama. Those Yankees come with a little harder edge, buddy.
I don't know about that.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
It is just like, I don't know. They have a hate for the Braves. Those guys do.
Oh, they do.
No, I think it's vice versa. I think it's back and forth.
You think that? I didn't think the Braves players brought the same.
Well, Arcia was in there mocking Bryce Harper.
Intensity against the Phillies. The same hate.
I think you would have seen it if we would have gotten Game 5.
You think so?
I think you would have. I don't know if the crowd could have matched that. That place. Oof.
This seems to be more intense than. In the '80s, I loved Dodgers Braves when they were both good in the West. In the old National League West, that was a good rivalry when Murphy and Horner was there for a while. I love that, but
the biggest brawl ever was the Padres when Horner had a cast on Claudell Washington.
But this is nasty now.
Oh yeah,
this is the series I want to see every year now. This is not the regular season. I'm sure it could be juicy in the regular season.
Oh, I guarantee you, Castellanos, after that home run, when they get to the regular season, he'll get one in the ear hole.
You got to.
Oh yeah, you got to.
You got to. Braves moving forward after back-to-back years, 205 wins. And getting bounced by the Phillies. That's a first, by the way. It's one of the couple of firsts in the games last night. The Braves become the first team in Major League history to win 100 games in baseball's regular season and be eliminated by the same team in back-to-back years.
We got a lot of, I don't know if it's people dig more for stats, but it seems like we've got new stats that jump out every day.
I feel like we've just signed the Constitution and we got all these new things, or just signed the Declaration of Independence.
1,768th postseason game the Phillies and Braves was last night in Major League Baseball history.
Right.
That was just the 1,768th postseason game.
Yeah.
I don't know if they count like we do shows, but I assume they're dead on.
Look at Castellanos, though. He looks like if you were serving a warrant at a crack house and that guy opened the door.
No, I would be like,
hey, show me your hands. Show me your hands right now.
I'd be like, I was going to hand this to you, but I'm just going to put it under the windshield of that truck out there.
If you get back to us, no big deal.
Yeah, 1,769th postseason game. Nick Castellanos is the first guy ever to go back-to-back with 2 home run games, multiple home run games. Yeah. It's never been done before.
Give an MVP?
I would have said Reggie Jackson just because we called him Mr. October.
Do they give an MVP for that series?
They don't.
They don't.
Oh, I thought they did.
Not for the division series.
He would have won it, though, right? Yeah. You were mentioning putting a ball in his ear hole next time they play, which will probably happen. I really wondered about them doing it to Harper after he stared down Arcia. Like,
just can't do it in the postseason.
Well, you say that, but I mean, if you draw him into a fight that might get him, I know the suspension would be the first part of next year. They're not going to suspend him in the postseason, but I mean,
and you can't.
How would that change the series, though? I mean,
and you can't risk an umpire just judgment running some pitcher.
Yeah.
Well, the Braves were thin on pitching anyway. I mean, to lose any of them would have been hard.
Yeah. Well, that game was over though. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about last night. I'm talking about in Game 3 when he's rounding bases, staring down one of your players. The next time he came up, I wondered, and I know you say you can't do it in the postseason, and that is one of those unwritten rules of baseball. But I wondered if somebody might put one on him.
Yeah.
Just to send a message.
Andy says the Braves are too soft and mentally weak for the Phillies when it comes nut cutting time.
I don't know if there's something about that with the Braves. I think there is something about that with the Dodgers.
The Dodgers are too soft.
Yeah, I don't get it. There's something mentally that the Dodgers know, and I don't want to turn this into a Dodger thing, but baseball is a weird sport, and when you can cruise along, and I love how Buster framed it, our friend Buster Olney. I read this morning, you push that regular season rock all the way up the hill, and then when you get to the postseason, it just – I mean, think about it. That is a grind, 162-game season, and to have those type of years and you get nothing to show for it. Because really for Braves, Dodgers, these organizations, it is World Series championship or bust.
Yeah. I mean, and just think about it. Snitker has won one and then has gone 101, 104 wins. But if you wake up today and the Braves have moved on from Brian Snitker, I think the Braves fans would be happy about it.
Yeah, I talked to our buddy Ryan, one of the GMs at Odie's. He had his little girl at Slice last night.
Yep.
Bud Light game night, came to pick up some wings, some of those smoked wings, really good. But he's a big Braves fan. He's like, I'm going home to watch Braves. And we had the conversation, as a Dodgers fan, seeing it in 2020, it softens the blow now. And he said the same thing as a Braves fan. I know Braves fans are stung right now. I was a little stung after watching the Dodgers get swept, but there is something to winning a championship as an adult fan and getting to see it.
Okay, one locker room response is what I have on my sheet of 10 here. It is cut 8 Rockstar. AJ Minter from the losing locker room, just putting it in perspective on how the Braves sort of embrace this exit. This is AJ talking to our friend Maria Taylor. Maria Martin. Yeah, Maria Martin. 11 Alive over in Atlanta. Maria up in Philly, and this is AJ Minter.
We've had a lot of personal achievements this year that were truly incredible, and I couldn't be more happy for those guys. But as a team, we failed. And with that being said, you got to come back, and the goal every year is to win a World Series, and we can do that. We fully believe that we can come back and win a World Series, and we expected to do it this year. And the thing about baseball is it's not always the best team that wins; it's the team that plays the best that day, and the Phillies played better than us.
Yeah, it's got to be tough, though, to do what they did in the regular season, win all those games, be the best team in baseball basically all season long. I don't think everybody ever believed your Rays were the best team in baseball.
Never.
Even when they were out to the first of 30, 40, 50 wins, whatever. I think everybody still said that's your best team in baseball, Atlanta.
Ever, always.
Yeah, and to have that historical season, only to see it get snuffed out in 4 games. I mean, when you showed up to mid-Florida in early February and started working then, how long ago does that seem? Think back to February. How long ago is that? And you've been working every single day with very few days off, and it ends just like that. That's got to be hard to swallow.
Can you go back to
Philip with a great point in the Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room. Honestly, that's where Dansby Swanson probably was the most valuable to the Braves. Didn't miss him production-wise, but he was just one of those guys who brought it. Just looking back to that World Series team at least, he was sort of a glue guy that sort of kept the intensity and the focus in that locker room.
Can you go back to AJ Minter real quick?
Yeah, we need to get a couple of sponsors in, but do that really quick.
I was just going to say Camaro or Corvette.
Camaro.
I think Fiero back in the day.
Yeah.
Our friends at Michelson Laser Vision with that focus on LT right there, looking into AJ Minter's status in the car world, look to car combination. What would I be? A Volkswagen?
Oh, let me think about that. It was a Corolla until your bookmaker took it from you, right? 205-969-8100. That is the number. Write it down. Make the call today. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I'm speaking from experience. We've got 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Call today, 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Okay, college football was fantastic last night as well. I was really excited about the Houston-West Virginia game, but I was so disappointed because West Virginia had fallen behind, and then they scored a late touchdown 2-point conversion. There's about 3:26 left in the contest. West Virginia had all 3 timeouts. They get a couple of stops on first and second down, and then there's a pass interference play after a burned timeout by Neil Brown. So 2 timeouts, and now they're resetting at first down. But West Virginia gets the ball back. And on a 4th down play, they throw a 50-yard touchdown with seconds left to take the lead. And you think West Virginia is going to get out of here. They're going to be 5-1. They're going to get a road win in Houston. Dana Holgerson's going to get fired. And
I think he may have, actually.
Yeah, I was saying it. You know, we had Houston plus 2.5. And at that point, on that 4th and 10 where they scored the touchdown, and you just saw Holgerson's face, and I was like, go on and just run him.
Yeah, that guy's getting fired.
And then
the unsportsmanlike celebration.
That was the big thing.
But it's hard not to celebrate in that situation.
No, it's almost
you know
impossible. And I didn't see what actually drew the unsportsmanlike. I don't know if it was just excessive or whatever. I mean, there was not like a guy didn't take his pants off, did he?
I think somebody might have. I think it was just excessive, but I did see after the fact somebody had helmet off.
Yeah.
And I think it was Garrett Green, the quarterback.
Well, if it's just helmet off, that bothers me.
Well, if you're Kansas City, they're not going to call it. They just tell you to put it back on.
Let me just say, if this is third quarter touchdown on 4th and 20, I'm probably going to flag it. If this is seconds to go, what appeared to be the game winner, if I'm an official, it's going to have to get really excessive for me to drop my flag.
I mean,
really excessive.
4,000 hours of prep for 48 hours of playing time, basically.
You've always stuck to you got to call the game, first seconds to last seconds the same.
Well, I'm telling you, if I were an official in the third quarter, I would still want it to be really excessive.
I'm glad Ryan Brown wasn't out there because it put Houston in a position to walk it off. And watching it was so cluttered watching it live. But then he just, the receiver just walks out with it.
As you watch it, the kid gets pushed, and he's about to go to the ground.
Stephon Johnson's the kid.
He's about to go to the ground, and then he catches it, and then his hand, and then the ball's right there.
That was a heck of a
reenactment.
Yeah.
But if you watch it, he's about to fall down.
Well, you work on this in practice, and one of the things that you're taught is you've got to knock ball down, not up.
Yeah.
And, in the heat of the moment, some things, ball bounce is weird, but, man, that ball pops up, and I don't know. That's a heartbreaker for Neil Brown.
Boy, it is. I don't know. I mean, we saw
because you've seen his schedule coming up, right?
Yeah, but we've had John Summerall on the show. He probably got beat by one of the most viewed Hail Marys last year in that App State game.
Yeah.
And, he said that actually changed our season. You asked him the question. I remember you asking him, and he's like, I don't know that we have the season we had last year without that Hail Mary.
I don't think Neil Brown's going to say the same thing.
That's what I was going to say. I mean,
that was early in the season.
It was second game. But to me, it feels like it's going to go the exact opposite way for West Virginia.
I think it is.
Yeah. Great ending, unless you're a West Virginia fan. Loved their uniforms last night, their road unis. The helmets looked to be sort of an old school helmet from back in the day.
Yeah, Houston's uniforms are all over the place.
Yeah, they're sort of black and white last night.
I just like the traditional red and white.
Yeah, me too. But I like the old school West Virginia helmet last night. To the NFL, and then we'll get to our Pick 3 segment coming up in the next segment. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at JohnstonRVCenter.com. They're a big sponsor of our weekend show. Don't forget, 9 a.m. Central Time every Saturday morning. We kick off your football Saturday with a lot more talk about college football. Johnston RV Center, they love them some college athletics.
And they've just gotten back from the Forest River Expo. That's where you go to see all the brand new trailers, the fifth wheels, the toy haulers, the motorhomes. You see all the floor plans and get to see some examples. And it allows them to say, okay, our people want this. We may not want this. So then they make their selections. And then once they make those selections, it starts to get delivered. That means they've got to make room for it. So they got a Call of Fall campaign. If fall is calling you to go camp, you could start right there with Johnston RV Center. Fifth wheels, discounted more than $50,000. Travel trailers starting at $179 a month with approved credit. Lifetime warranty for all new purchases and used purchases under 2 years old. RV warranty forever. And as a salute to our military, we thank you for making America the greatest country in the universe. They thank you as well. Great discounts for our active duty and retired military personnel. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online at johnstonrvcenter.com.
A couple of great things from last night. One of those is mybookie.ag. Code next round, 110% bonus. I placed a prop bet last night.
What'd you prop?
At mybookie.ag. Rasheed Rice. And you
easy money, right?
My bookie, you can move it, man. The first one was Rasheed Rice over 23.
Right.
For a certain amount of odds. I'd had to bet 1,000 to win 100. You know, that's the way the odds work. So I slid that on up. I felt comfortable at 73.
73 was the number you wanted, huh?
Yeah, and so I was going to bet 50 to win 225. LT, I love that
what
return.
What a payoff, Lance. That's a heck of a return.
Nice. I'm betting 50 to win 225. I felt like 73 was a good number. When I made the bet, I didn't think Travis Kelce was going to
play. How this plays out, right?
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't even had to know about the game and know how this plays out.
You see my tweet. NFL tonight, time for a new chief wide receiver to break out. I'm rolling over 73 yards with a Rasheed Rice at my bookie promo code next round. LT, where'd Rice end up?
He had 4 targets last night. He had a nice night. 4 grabs of the 4 targets for 72 yards.
72 yards. Lunsford, you do some my bookie stuff. If I play 73 plus in a prop and he gets 72, do they go, man, that's a good play, Jim. We're going to give you some of your money.
They say, that's a good play, Jim. Thanks for the free money.
Yes. We appreciate you signing up for the 110%.
His total was, and I brought this up last night at Bud Light Game Night when we were at Slice. I said his total right now, grabs 2.5, total yards 29.5.
Yeah.
You had it on a platter. You zoned him in. You just got a little too greedy.
But my bookie allows you to slide that scale up a little bit and
Jimmy.
get a better return on your money.
Yeah, there's a reason you get a better return on your money, though.
I didn't want just $50, LT. I wanted $225.
I see that. And what don't you have now? That 50
I don't have my $50 anymore.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, my bookie.ag.
I think it's time to bring up Sean Payton might be the most overrated coach in the history of the NFL. I think that's fair.
You got to give him time to build his roster, right? You can't just call it right now. He inherited a horrible roster.
You can say that, and I don't necessarily disagree, but if you inherit a terrible roster and you say these guys had the worst coaching job in the history of the NFL, and through 5 games, and I pulled these numbers, they are so much worse than they were last year. They were 2-4, and they had -7 point differential through 5 games. They're 1-4, and it's -71. And 2 of their losses in the first 5 games last year were in overtime. They were competitive. The defense was good. Defense didn't play bad last night, but this is an embarrassment. And Sean Payton looks like Barack Obama on his second term, how much he aged. Yeah, from August until now. Russell Wilson was awful last night. And just let me ask you a couple of head coaches. Mike McCarthy, better or worse than Sean Payton?
They both won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
McCarthy won one?
Yeah, he won one with Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. So what you're going to tell me is that
I've just got
these coaches are made by their quarterbacks?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. Yeah. Unless you're somebody like Sean McVay and you get a Jared Goff into a Super Bowl.
Lance, I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay. Well, anyway, virtually the same. 11-10 in the postseason for Mike McCarthy, 9-8 for Sean Payton, both won Super Bowl.
About the same guy.
Mike Holmgren, 13-11, won Super Bowl.
I'll go Mike Holmgren better than Sean Payton.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin.
I will go Mike Tomlin better than Sean Payton. The guy's never had a losing record in the NFL.
I think you're talking sense.
Yeah.
John Gruden.
I didn't look at Gruden's record.
Here's what I'll say about, Gruden built the Super Bowl champion, but that one, it was the other one somebody else built. So it's kind of weird with him.
I think Gruden was a better coach. I didn't look at his numbers, though. Yeah. I think Gruden is as much known for what he did broadcasting as he did coaching.
I think if you go back and look at Gruden, and we've done this before, the year he lost in the Snow Bowl or in the Tuck Rule and the year he won the Super Bowl are kind of the outliers for him. Like everything else is 7-9 and stuff like that.
Yeah, he won the Super Bowl with my Buccaneers, with the team that Tony Dungy built.
Yeah, and then what did it do after that?
And then he ran it into the ground. He and Keyshawn ran it into the ground.
You say you got to give him time, but did you see before? So 4th down, Russell Wilson is sacked right before the half. They're down 10-0. And Sean Payton calls timeout. Calls a timeout, and Denver or KC gets the ball and kicks a field goal.
Yeah.
He calls a timeout, and after he didn't even take accountability. He said it was a boneheaded move. He was like, but they were going to call timeout. It's not like
they were going to do it anyway.
It's always somebody else's problem.
Well, I think there used to be the debate: is it more Belichick or Brady? More Belichick or Brady? And quite honestly, it looked like it was more Brady after he departed.
Now, yeah.
I mean, I would be willing to give them both credit. Belichick's a little bit different than Sean Payton. I understand that. I'm not saying that.
Back in the day, I felt like it was more Belichick than it was Brady. But now it feels like it was more Brady.
But it is a legitimate question, a far more legitimate question to say, was it more Drew Brees or Sean Payton?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what's he without
and
Drew Brees?
And real quick, Lamb believer, I've never liked Sean Payton. I've never liked the Saints, but the PI game went my way.
It did. Pass interference game went to the Rams' way.
That's right.
Yeah. No way the Rams.
So I don't know what would have been did about that. Yeah. I just don't like Sean Payton.
Yeah, for the fact that's the only way Jared Goff got to the Super Bowl was a horrible call.
You don't know if he's going to make the kick.
Yeah.
So they were called timeout anyway.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to make the kick.
No accountability
Fumble
from
the
you.
snap.
And we're so late for the first break. But before Brown tells us about Morris, we won't get back to it because there's so much in this show. Steve Smith, who was a great receiver in the NFL, but he is an angry broadcaster.
He was an angry receiver.
An angry broadcaster. And he said this, and I saved it for a long time, on the NFL Network on Thanksgiving Day, I think, the year we won the Super Bowl. I think we lost on Thanksgiving Day, or maybe we won at the last second, but we didn't play well. And he is like, this Buccaneer team is soft, da-da-da-da-da. If they make the playoffs, they will not do anything. They'll get bounced the first weekend, blah, 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 blah. And I had it saved. I saved it when he said it on that day, and then the Bucs didn't lose again. And you know me, I sent it to him a couple of times on social media. Hey, thanks for the comments, Steve. Another win. So I sent it to him a couple of times, like people are doing me this morning.
Yeah,
I sent it to Steve. Right. It's all fun. It's all
and
fun.
He responded to all of them.
Never
right
responded.
Yeah.
Last
night,
he's been critical on his podcast of Jerry Jeudy, who, by the way, Jeudy may not be good, but he's got a quarterback and a coaching problem that you've alluded to.
Hey, we've got no idea. We have no idea how good Jerry Jeudy is.
Steve Smith, I guess, tried to apologize or talk to him face to face before, and Jeudy sort of, blew him off. So Steve picked up the microphone, went over to his NFL Network hit live in the pregame, and just called him. If NFL teams ever ask me on whether I should trade for Jerry Jeudy, I'm going to tell them no. Third-tier receiver.
I don't think they're going to ask you, Steve.
Third-tier receiver. But see, I love the fact that Jeudy went out there and stuck in his eye afterwards. He went out there, 3 catches, 14 yards last night.
Hey, and at mybookie.ag, I had the over receiving yards for Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, what was it at 12 by chance?
Yeah. I had the over 1.5 touchdowns for Russell Wilson.
Yeah. 3 catches, 14 yards. You sort of wish if you were Jerry Jeudy, if you blow off Steve Smith's apology, tell him to F off. You'd like to go out there and get 9 grabs for 118, maybe a touchdown. 3 catches, 14 yards.
I will tell you the best thing.
Jeudy. Attaboy, Jeudy.
Best thing that can happen for Jerry Jeudy is him to get traded.
Get traded somewhere else.
Yep.
Exactly. All right, that's a lot in the first segment. Tell us about Moore's Marinade, and we'll get to the pick 3 coming up in the next segment.
Hey, listen, you can be a grilling champion this weekend. Scotty is showing you some steaks and vegetables idea with Moore's Marinade. Moore's Marinade is great for that grilling this football weekend. Moore's Original Marinade has lower sodium than the leading lower sodium marinade. It adds a boost of delicious hickory flavor as well to whatever you're throwing on the grill. That's the thing. Lower sodium, but you don't sacrifice flavor because that great hickory flavor is perfect for burgers, chicken, steak, pork, even veggies, as I said. Moore's Buffalo Wing Sauce, great too. It adds the perfectly tangy flavor that'll keep you licking your fingers even after the wings are gone. You can dip, you can drizzle, you can slather Moore's Buffalo Wing Sauce, the honey barbecue wing sauce on everything you eat. Chicken fingers, burgers, sandwiches, pizza, pasta, tacos, fries, and more. See why grill masters prefer Moore's Marinades and wing sauces online. Moore'sMarinades.com. Great recipe ideas, great grilling inspiration. Moore'sMarinades.com.
Follow LT on Twitter @TheLanceTaylor.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
You could win a Dodge Challenger RT or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You could be a winner too. Come win your share during the Challenger RT and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings October 27th and 28th. Located off I-459, exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
As summer bids adieu, get ready to welcome the arrival of fall. But hey, it's not just football season making an entrance. In the world of pests, it's fall invader season. Hold on tight, because we got 4 major troublemakers stepping into the spotlight: box elder bugs, kudzu bugs, ladybugs, and stink bugs. These pests don't just knock, they barge in like they own the place. But fear not, dial up Wayne's Pest Control now, 865-588-6686, and show those fall invaders who's boss. Don't let pests crash your fall. Take charge today. DryTech Water Restoration is a locally owned company that specializes in mold remediation, fire and water damage cleanup, and SteraMist services. DryTech's goal is to provide clients with expert guidance when dealing with any home disaster. DryTech's highly trained specialists are available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They will work closely with you and your insurance company to make sure the process is stress-free as possible. Call DryTech today, 205-637-0143. The moment you discover damage to your home, DryTech's team will handle the rest.
The Next Round golf cart is back and is presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. For $89, play Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the renovated Woodward Golf Club. $247 in value for just $89. Or get bonus gifts with the Deluxe Golf Cart for $119. No restrictions, good through September of 2024, but supplies are limited. Buy right now at nextround.store.
Going to a big football game? Walking around all day? Then you'll want comfortable shoes. This is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Score a touchdown with a new pair of ultra-comfortable running or walking shoes. Come to the New Balance Birmingham store. I'm telling you, we'll make sure you have a perfect fit and we'll treat you like the starting QB. Our job is to make sure your feet are happy. Visit the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. Your feet will thank you.
All right, here we go, man. Big weekend in college football. UAB has a little UTSA this weekend. Frank Harris is back for the Roadrunners. They're in the Dome, the Alamo Dome. We talked to Trent Dilfer yesterday. You can get everything we talked to him about on our podcast and video cast on our YouTube channel, Next Round Live, where some of you are watching us now. Like, subscribe, and get us at Apple and Spotify as well. Trent Dilfer there. Here's Trent talking about our friends at Legacy.
Financial success is like a game-winning drive. Consistency, perseverance, and effective money management will get you to the end zone.
That's exactly right, Coach. And I want to tell you about how you can get effective management from your money with our friends at Legacy with their digital banking app. You can transfer money from your savings account into your checking. You can, if you accidentally lose your card, you have no problem at all there. You can turn it on and off on the app right there. And if you want to know what you're spending your money on, their banking app at Legacy will give you keen insight on your spending habits. All this and a lot more can be done on the app with our friends at Legacy. Learn more by checking out LegacyCreditUnion.com. LegacyCreditUnion.com. Legacy is the official credit union of UAB, federally insured by the NCUA. Biggest game of the weekend is Oregon and Washington. Here's Dan Lanning talking about Bo Nix and his message to his veteran quarterback going on the road in Seattle.
What is the message that you try to get to him of appreciating how big this opportunity is, that something he's faced before, while also maybe not making it too big, but appreciating exactly how big it is?
Yeah, I don't have to do any of that with Bo. He's a pro. Again, and it wouldn't matter who he's competing against. When he steps on the field, he knows what he wants to do. He knows what he's capable of and how he can perform. I think this is why guys like Bo come to Oregon to get to play in games like this. So this moment certainly isn't too big. I don't have to give him any encrypted message. Bo, go out there and do your thing. That's all I got to tell him.
Bo, go do your thing. The problem is Bo's thing. Now, a lot of this is also back to his days at Auburn. On the road, Bo Nix has thrown 20 of his career 24 interceptions away from his home stadium.
Wow, that's concerning.
Jordan-Hare and Autzen. And they're on the road in another tough environment this weekend.
Yeah, I think Bo has got a road SEC problem. I don't know if he's got a road Pac-12 problem. I do think this is, and if you listen to Unlock with Brock Heward on Disrupt the Media, he talked about this is going to be an SEC atmosphere. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit on the call, had Herbstreit on his morning show. Herbstreit said the same thing. This will be the closest to an SEC atmosphere that you will get all year long. So you've got that going in the Huskies' favor. But this is the best overall team Bo Nix has ever been on. And you start to look at the offensive line. Not only are they averaging 7.1 yards per carry, which is the best right now in the FBS, and Bo helps that average a lot. But the fact that offensive line has only allowed 3 sacks and 20 tackles for loss. So you've got a defense only giving up 11.8 points per game. You've got an offensive line that's playing well. You've got Bucky Irving in that backfield for you. I mean, they've got a lot of things going in a positive direction. The problem is they're playing maybe a better team in Washington.
Yeah, to Lance's point, of those 20 interceptions on the road, only 3 of those have been thrown in an Oregon uniform.
That's
I think
right.
Auburn fans can attest that most of those are thrown in an orange and blue uniform.
With a bad offensive line.
Yeah, he threw 1 at Washington State last year and 2 at Cal last year, and that is it for his road games. Now, he did have 2 against Georgia. That felt a lot like a road game, but technically neutral site. So if you want to count those, then it's 5 instead of 3. I don't know how you want to rule that.
Yeah.
And that felt like they were playing in Athens, but they were playing in Atlanta.
It wasn't at Autzen or Jordan-Hare.
That is true. It was away from Autzen. So you could say 5 of those 20. And then we talked about this on the show last night. Bo Nix played 4.5 years of college football now. And he's done a lot of it in the SEC where you go to bad environments, right? Yeah. I mean, he's had to play at Bryant-Denny. He's had to play at Tiger Stadium. He's had to play in Athens. He's played some tough places. I don't think Husky Stadium's going to rattle him any more than any of those places have. Yeah. He's used to this.
Well, and you look on the other side. I mean, this might be, and I haven't checked this. This will be interesting because we do have a first in Pac-12 history. This will be the highest combined scoring average between 2 Pac-12 teams all time. I wonder if you looked at career starts between Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix, if this would be the most career starts. I wouldn't be surprised most career starts in the history of a college football game.
Because these two have played so many games. To your point, what is it, 97 points these two teams are averaging this year combined in 1,100 yards of offense. On paper, this is supposed to be a shootout. If Dan Lanning's smart, he uses that run game to shorten the game. Less time for Michael Penix on the field, right?
Well, and try to take that crowd out of it.
Yeah.
Don't put Bo in any bad situation. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would try to shorten the game. I think the total's hovering around 61. We can check it at mybookie.ag. I started looking at that total. I leaned over when I was looking at it.
So you think high scoring?
Yeah, well, that seems to be a hook 'em total there, because when you think Washington and Oregon, you think, we're going to play in the 40s.
Well, you think that, but then you go back to last year. I think it was 27-24, 30-27.
Yep.
And both of these defenses are really, really good.
I mean, the gap between Oregon's defense and Washington's defense is not that big. It's not like we're talking about LSU's defense or USC's defense.
Yeah. By the way, a guy who teased up an unknown receiver's yards by 15 yards last night thought that was a hook. Oregon and Washington. Washington right now favored 3, a total of 67.
67. Okay.
At mybookie.ag.
67.
I was wrong on that.
All right, let's get to the pick 3 before we hit the song, Rockstar. Let me tell you about our friends at Wayne's. We're celebrating Wayne's 50 years of the best pest control service in the world. That's what you get with Wayne's. It started here, and they've spread out over the SEC footprint. If you're watching or listening to us, check Wayne's out at this website, callwaynes.com. Callwaynes.com to see if you're in a Wayne's neighborhood, and if you are, you want to sign up. But if you want to sign up now, or if you've been a customer for 50 years or anywhere in between, you get $50 off right now because you're watching us on your pest control and your termite protection. If you just go to callwaynes.com, it's because of their 50th anniversary. $50 off pest control or termite protection. Callwaynes.com. Rockstar, it's time for the pick 3. Hit the song.
Pick three, it's time for the pick three. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick three. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick three. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick three.
Hey, 11 Central Alabama locations for our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, including that new Buffalo Wild Wings Go location in Vestavia. They've been the #1 sports bar in Birmingham for over 20 years. Wall-to-wall TVs, 26 sauces and seasonings, along with a full menu of great burgers, wraps, and salads. That's one of those songs that it signifies the weekend this year.
Love it.
Bouncing through some games that you can play whatever games you want. NextRoundLive.com, NextRoundLive.com. Look for the big Buffalo Wild Wing logo, the B-Dub logo. Click that, and you can go in and play the pick three. If you go 3-0, you get a ball in the bucket, a drawing for the big prize at the end of the year. If you go 2-1, we'll pat you in the back, say great job, but you got to get 3-0 to jump in there and be in the drawing for the big prize at the end. If you get more balls in the bucket, better chance of winning at the end of the year. So keep playing every week at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. That's our website. It is absolutely free to play. Go jump in and play this weekend. We talked a little bit about that game, the biggest one in the country. Let's talk about 2 of the games that are local, Arkansas and Alabama. In this contest, I just wonder if Arkansas can run the ball. Texas A&M could not run the ball.
Well, there's a hint out there that Rocket Sanders will not play for the Razorbacks. The offensive line has not been good, and they've lost 4 straight games for the first time in Sam Pittman's tenure. They also have the most one-possession losses in the FBS this year with 3, and against 3 good teams. BYU, a double-digit lead you can't blow, against Ole Miss, and against LSU. They've been close. Close isn't good enough. Big number for a reason. 11 o'clock game. I'll stay away.
And you'll stay away, but if you played it, I feel like you like Alabama to cover this number.
You know, this is one of those I will dig through and I'll find some good props.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I'll point out this number that year to year over year, if you're in business, that matters. Year over year, where are we in revenue? Where are we in ratings? Year over year in rushing yardage, Arkansas is way off. 125 yards a game off year over year. They are not running the football.
Their market manager is getting fired.
Their market manager is getting fired, and their coach is under a little bit of heat right now. There's no doubt Sam Pittman's catching some heat.
I think he is. I don't think he should.
Yeah.
But, we had somebody bring it up to us. He's got 19 career one-possession games, and I think he's 4-15.
Yeah, something like that. 5-14, 4-15. Now, I remember when that person told us this, thinking, but the one that was at Auburn, they kind of got ripped off.
There were 2 that year in 2020 that really should have gone Arkansas's way. With that said, you're supposed to get better as your tenure goes, and it seems like it might be going the wrong direction.
Yeah. He's never beaten Texas A&M, but he has beaten Texas. Those games carry a little weight with Arkansas fans.
I rode the elevator up today. Rockstar and I actually did with somebody that works in this building that is a big Arkansas fan. And Rockstar and I were in the elevator with him, and I said, you guys going over to the game? He goes, my wife and I travel to almost every road game that's nearby. He goes, if it's not crazy, we go watch the Hogs on the road. He goes, not even going to bother Saturday. I was like, man,
that's not a good fan. I remember Rocky and I went and sat in, I think it was like 20 degrees, that Titans game, and I brought it up before, and the Rams started Keith Null, the legend Keith Null at quarterback, and Chris Johnson went, I think, 1,000 yards on the ground, and we lost by like 50 points. You got to support your team.
Every first down on the Jumbotron, they had a guy in a Santa Claus suit. They filmed it too long. He goes, "First down, Titans."
Things I don't remember.
Every first down.
Y'all went to a game together?
Yeah, with that's where we met your boy.
What was his name?
Creator of The Sopranos name.
David Chase.
Yeah.
Now I can't say the story.
Not David Chase.
Damn it.
Rockstar.
Damn it, I had a great story.
Rockstar walked you into one.
Oh, my gosh, I had a great story.
But anyway, my point was that's emblematic, I think, of this Arkansas fan base right now. They're a little bit frustrated. And his other comment was, it's a shame we talked one of the greatest quarterbacks in school history to come back, only not have anybody to block for him. And that is true. He came back, nobody blocks for him.
More surprising, Nick Saban's on year 16, or the fact that Nick Saban's 16-0 against Arkansas and Tuscaloosa?
He's 16-0 in his time in Alabama,
Yeah.
both in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, and Tuscaloosa. That's a pretty impressive stat against an SEC division opponent.
This has been a bad era of Arkansas football, though.
It has.
I mean, early on, that was really impressive because Petrino was there and he coached them up.
Yeah, their run defense is pretty good. So this may be another game
For Jalen Milroe slinging around.
That they had to put Jalen Milroe passing the ball around the yard again.
Player props.
Maybe a lot like last week, the way Alabama attacks this, and we'll see how it plays out over in Tuscaloosa as that game goes right out of game day, 11 o'clock on ESPN. 60 seconds on the Auburn game before we take our break. 4 downs in the next segment. We'll get to Todd Ferman and all the games coming up as we continue right now with the Buffalo Wild Wings pick 3. Keep playing at nextroundlive.com. Auburn, LSU in this game. Boy, Logan Diggs has come on at the right time for this offense, helping Jaden Daniels with the run game and what they're able to do. They had to score on 6 of their last 7 possessions last week to escape Missouri. Here comes Auburn off a bye week. They've lost 7 straight SEC road games, and they're 90th in the country in yards per play. In SEC games, guys, Auburn is averaging just 15 points a game. Something's got to change for them to be in this game down in Baton Rouge.
Well, what gives? Does Auburn's offense take advantage of this LSU defense? Does LSU's defense take advantage of this Auburn offense? I was talking to an LSU fan this morning, and he's like, 12.5, man, that is too many. He's like, our defense is awful. Which, if you've got LSU fans saying this, watch out. LSU, in my opinion, is going to pop Auburn tomorrow. I think Jaden Daniels, after this weekend, I think everyone will start talking Jaden Daniels, even with 2 losses, in the Heisman conversation.
The stat we gave you yesterday, Auburn has gone almost a full calendar year without a 100-yard passing game against a Power 5 team. The last, and LSU's given up at least 100 to everybody this year.
Russell Wilson did it last night, too.
That is a low bar. The last 3 opponents done away, Arkansas 289, Ole Miss 389, Missouri 411. Those pass yards going up against LSU. Auburn's going to have to throw the ball some to win this game.
All right, so Auburn hasn't won a road game since Arkansas 2021, but NH3425 says a key stat, Hugh Freeze 9-2 coming off bye weeks as a head coach. We'll see if something changes for Auburn down in LSU. Baton Rouge, that game is 6 o'clock on ESPN, 12.5, the Auburn team a dog at mybookie.ag. As we head to break here, we'll tell you about the best tequila in the world. It's Maestro Dobel Diamante Tequila, 100% pure agave, crystal clear tequila. It is smooth. It is crisp. It's the best tequila. Try it, and then you'll find out what I'm telling you is true. Ask for it by name. It is Maestro Dobel Diamante. Get it wherever you buy your tequila. We may go 6, 7, 8 downs, and a lot of it's celebrity birthdays before we talk to Ferman. That is next right here on TNR.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the live daily show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery 5th Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
Football season is here, and Legacy Credit Card is just what you need to manage your spending safely and wisely. Credit cards offer better consumer protection against fraud when compared to a debit card, which is linked directly to your bank account. Legacy offers rates as low as 8.9% APR on credit cards compared to major card providers who advertise rates as high as 29% APR. Look no further than Legacy. Open a credit card online in minutes at legacycreditunion.com/join. APR's annual percentage rate, rates, and offers subject to change. See website for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
4 downs in this segment, right after LT tells us about our friends at Hydrolife.
Hey, weekend is here. You need to get hydrated. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. Open 7 days a week. If you can't make it to Hydrolife, guess what? They can send a nurse to you, home or business. Mention next round at checkout. Save 20% off any service. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Hydrolife Therapy or hydrolifetherapy.com.
All right. Last night we had a great time at Slice out in Crestline. Always great food, great crowd out there last night for our Bud Light game night. Was a chance for some new people to swing by and scan the QR code to get tickets to the chance to win tickets to the Alabama-Auburn game at the end of the year. Thank you for coming out, everybody that was there last night and saying hi and such nice things about the show, and those of you that watched last night. Love that location in Crestline of Slice, and the pizza was good. I had a couple of slices of the spicy Hawaiian and that wedge salad. Brownie, which pizza did you end up going with?
Spicy Hawaiian, little EG. Everybody's little now. EG and I split a spicy Hawaiian. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I saw Gina Korn.
That's right.
Team
Mom.
Yep. Yeah, her and Little T had the Bajaya special, which has got the bacon and the banana peppers.
I met,
good.
Met another fraternity brother of yours. Old fraternity brothers are yours.
That is an amazing amount of people, because he introduced himself to, I'm one of Lance's fraternity brothers. Like, I cannot tell you how many people from this fraternity I met.
Well, after Slice, I went and there was 5 of them hanging out that are in town with our buddy Jimmy Anthony. So I went over there and grilled out with them last night. They're all over the place.
Yeah, and they show up where we show up, and I like that a lot. Slice last night for game night. Slice for 4 downs. Hit it. Go ahead and tell us about Slice, and we'll get the first down.
Yeah, there's a original lake location in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, the one we were at last night at Crestline Park. Local pizza, local ingredients. Make sure you get in. Tell the Bajaya brothers the next round sent you.
First down.
Bigger surprise right now, how much better Colorado is or how much worse the Broncos are?
I'm not surprised by the Broncos. I now they're worse than I thought they were going to be, Dunaway, but I said all off season, I don't know why everybody thinks you just dropped Sean Payton in there and everything is fixed. I'm stunned by what Prime has done.
I saw some people saying that the Broncos would make a playoff run before the season.
I know, and I disagreed with them. So I'm more surprised by what Colorado has done.
Me too. I mean, Colorado's win total, they've already passed it.
Yeah. I mean, they could get bowl eligible, and I didn't think that was even a distinct possibility.
Yeah, they've set themselves up now. Like, if Troy Taylor and Stanford beat them, people are going to be like, I cannot believe Colorado lost that game.
I know. It's the ones they lose now that are surprising. Travis Hunter likely to play now this weekend, which gets him one step closer to being bowl eligible, which everyone said if he gets this team bowl eligible, there's no transfer portal in the NFL. It takes a little bit longer to rebuild the roster. I don't know if Sean Payton,
called free agency.
I don't know if Sean Payton can do it or not. Well, free agents doesn't work as easy as a transfer portal.
But everybody said Sean Payton is a quarterback guru. He's going to put Russell Wilson in spots to win games.
So you're more surprised by Broncos or Bucs?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm surprised by both.
Yeah. Okay, let's do second down then.
Second down.
More points tomorrow, Arkansas or Iowa?
Oh, Arkansas.
I'm going to go Arkansas.
Yeah. So I'm going to bet anybody against Iowa. I don't care who Iowa's playing.
Are we forgetting how good this Alabama defense is?
It is good, Lance, but I mean, if they held them to 14, I mean, I could see a garbage touchdown late. I don't know that Iowa could score 14.
127th best offense in the country is Iowa.
Yeah, I think that's been a theme for a while, hasn't it?
Which means Alabama would need to be a top 5 defense to sort of match that and the nuance of what you're asking here. I think Arkansas with KJ Jefferson can score some points.
Well, and even if I was in a situation where they're down double digits, they don't have an offense that can actually score garbage points.
Yeah. I think it's, Wisconsin 13, Iowa 6.
If I was going to ask you if Iowa was rolling into Bryant-Denny tomorrow, what do you think their team total is? I think it'd be 6.5.
Oh, to score?
Yeah,
points?
and I'd probably take the under.
Yeah. And I'd take them for under 100 yards of total offense.
Okay, this is a better question coming up.
Okay.
Third down.
Who gives up more points tomorrow, Auburn or Notre Dame? Auburn, obviously, in Baton Rouge. Notre Dame host USC. I think this will be close.
That is a tight question. I don't know where I'd go on this one.
Yeah, too close to call. I probably would go Notre Dame. I have a feeling Auburn's defense will be able to pressure Jaden Daniels a little bit. Question is, can they do it with that nice dome that keeps him from scrambling away, keep the run gaps tight?
But you can't even contain that guy, really. If you try to contain him, he throws body in the way of everything. He'll take it right up the gut.
Yeah, but I'm going to go Notre Dame allows more. Close.
I will, too. I think it's close.
Yeah, I think it is close. I think I would go Notre Dame as well.
Fourth down.
Jerry Rice, 61. Better career, Jerry Rice or Rice Krispies?
Jerry Rice, greatest of all time at receiver. I don't think anybody thinks Rice Krispies is the greatest cereal.
Jerry Rice treat.
Yeah. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I think Rice Krispies are overrated. Some people will say Jerry Rice is the greatest football player ever.
Yeah, it's a good argument. I mean,
the story of him used to, his dad laid bricks for a living, and Jerry in the off season, Dad would, he'd catch the bricks and hand them to his dad. They'd throw bricks up to him, and that's how he worked in the off season, getting strong hands, catching bricks.
Bet his kid Brennan doesn't do that.
Rice Krispie, though, the ones we got in school was they were not marshmallow based; they were peanut butter based.
Those were good.
Yeah. Those were legit.
But
the marshmallow is so overrated.
Here's my point with Rice Krispie treats, Rockstar. What other food is better known for the way in which it was not intended to be consumed? And that's
frosted Rice Krispies are legit to eat.
But I'm saying Rice
regular.
Krispie treats are by far and away the best form of Rice Krispies. That's not even the way it's intended to be eaten. You have to change it to make it good.
Never heard of this, but I'm willing to try it. Matt says he uses Cocoa Krispies.
Ooh, make it chocolate.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought the novelty of the Rice Krispie for me was really the snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah,
when you would hear
that's
it
like
popping.
the first 20 seconds of milk, and then it's a bad cereal.
And then, what was it? Crazy Eye Killer had the rap about Rice Krispies. I'll snap.
I remember he liked to eat. Crazy Eye Killer Larry.
But he had a great lyric about Rice Krispies.
Hey, with the music, but without the graphics, I also did 4 downs real quick, so we don't need to say downs, just to run through them. I had a Jerry Rice one as well at 61. Other than Jerry Rice, in your youth, who was your favorite wide receiver?
Steve Largent.
Steve Largent for you.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like Steve Largent. I like Chris Collinsworth.
Did you really?
Yeah,
with the Bengals?
With the Bengals,
Interesting.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, I love Clayton and Duper growing up as a Dolphins fan, but outside the Dolphins, I love that old school Seahawks uniform, playing in the dome.
Oh, I loved Largent too.
They were a fun
my favorite is probably Henry Ellard.
Yeah, mine was Fred Bolitnikoff, because he looked like, he looks like me. I think I could play.
Yeah, that was Chris Collinsworth, backyard.
Yeah. Sammy Hagar is 76 today. Who did a better job?
Sammy Hagar or Hagar the Horrible?
Who did a better job of taking an already winning, talented group of artists and making them even better? Pat Riley with the Lakers or Bill Parcells with the Jets? Remember, it was Ray Perkins. Parcells was an assistant.
Giants,
that built that Giants team with Lawrence Taylor and all of them. Then Ray Perkins left and came to Alabama.
Ray Perkins would have won shit with them.
Who did a better job, Parcell or Riley? Remember, Riley didn't get all those players together either.
Yeah, but boy, he dominated. I thought you were going to say, who did a better job, Riley or Sammy Hagar with Van Halen?
Yeah. Ashanti is 43 today, R&B singer. There was a moment in time that everybody
Ashanti.
Oh, bless you.
Holy shit, there's Ashanti.
Ashanti. As she's called in Tokyo. Ashanti. In France, it's Ashanti. Ashanti was like it was always, this person singing a song and Ashanti, saying sort of the hook of the song, and then someone would rap. And then another, and she was like on 5 hit songs at one time in the top 40. Who was the best sidekick in sports, in your opinion?
I mean, Scottie Pippen's going to be the guy everybody will go to. I'll tell you right now, it's got well, I don't want to call him a sidekick. I don't like him. But the most deadly duo in all of sport right now, and it could be Dame Lillard and Giannis coming up this basketball season, but right now it's Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes.
Oh, that's a good one.
And the only thing worse about seeing Taylor Swift at games is seeing her hugging Brittany Mahomes. This thing is so damn forced. Never seen anything like it.
I would say, I'm going to go off the board. Steve Williams, Tiger Woods' caddy. How about that?
Oh,
How about that?
I like that. One more. Nancy Kerrigan, 54 today. Remember, she got...
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like I'm watching it.
Why?
What sports crisis seemed like a big thing at the time that ended up, as you look back, wasn't that big a deal?
Bison Dele, Brian Williams shooting that dude in the head and throwing him over a catamaran. Wasn't it his brother? That was a big deal. I was kidding.
That's a tough one, Jimmy D.
I thought that NBA referee scandal,
Tim Donaghy,
was gonna crash sports.
Did you really?
I did.
Ends up he just went to jail. And wrote a
I know
book.
what it is. It's obvious. COVID.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Absolute joke that we were ever in that situation.
There were going to be players falling out on the field, we were told, if we try to play a game.
No,
there
I
will be
remember-
guys die on the field. They will have to stop a game because somebody has died on the field.
I think I might have been on the phone with both of you guys or one of you guys just walking laps around my pool like, like life's over. We're not going to have a football season.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we played in limited crowds is silly in hindsight, but the fact that people thought guys were going to die on the field is even sillier.
People thought college football would go away if we ever paid the players.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank God for men like Greg Sankey having the balls to stand up to that bullshit.
There you go. 8 downs today, brought to you by our friends right there at Slice. We enjoyed that last night. Also enjoy our friends at Bromberg's LT.
Since 1836, family owned and operated, they are your diamond specialist. Nothing like giving or getting that silver box. From our friends at Bromberg's, remember the holidays are right around the corner. You can get in and see the professionals. 2 locations, Mountain Brook and the Summit. You can also go online, shop there right now, brombergs.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
If you're looking for a fun golf atmosphere that is laid back with a peaceful environment, the Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280, is perfect for you. Just a short drive from Birmingham, this 18-hole, 200-acre track with rolling fairways and ample greens is the definition of peacefulness of the country just miles from the city. Enjoy a great lunch before your round and a cocktail on the wraparound porch after 18. Come see us today. The Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round hosts a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, presented by Redmont Vodka. LT has in-depth conversations with personalities like Clay Travis and Taylor Hicks. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple and Spotify. And remember to like and subscribe.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. That's a value of $247 for just $89. Or get the Next Round Deluxe Golf Cart for just $119. It gets you all 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive Next Round Golf t-shirt, koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. There are no restrictions. The cart is good through September 2024. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Good game tonight. Tulane and Memphis, 6 o'clock ESPN. Michael Pratt playing for Tulane. Memphis is 4-1. This Tulane team's really good when Pratt is playing. Keep an eye on that contest tonight. That's a good one.
Got a lock on that, by the way.
Lock it on lanceslock.com. Lanceslock.com. He's got a lock on that one right there. He's also got Dr. B making his hair good.
Hey, look, if you know somebody that's starting to thin out, be preemptive. Dr. B is the guy you need to give a buzz to. 205-319-0316. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Todd Ferman is BetTheBoardPodcast.com's host. He is the former odds maker at Caesars Palace, and he joins us each week on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. That's where he is now. What is up, Ferman? How are you?
I'm doing well this morning, gentlemen. Hopefully you boys are as well.
We are doing fantastic. At Todd Ferman on Twitter is where you follow Ferman. Let's start with Alabama, Arkansas. The Crimson Tide, a 19.5-point favorite. This morning, Arkansas has not been able to run the ball. Rocket Sanders has been in and out. I don't know if there's anything in Vegas you've heard about Rocket Sanders and his ability to play this weekend. It was something we talked about last weekend with Jalen Milroe in Alabama with the rumors bouncing around Vegas. What's the latest there in Vegas on Arkansas, you think?
You know, I haven't heard much in terms of that particular regard and his status, but you mentioned this Arkansas team. Even if they brought back Darren McFadden, I'm not sure they'd be able to run right now against this Alabama defensive front. Given what we've seen from the Crimson Tide, obviously not an ideal situational spot to go out there and lay nearly 3 touchdowns with Alabama, fresh off of the big win against Texas A&M. But you look at Arkansas, and this offense has been rather limited over the last couple weeks. 78 combined rushing yards. I know that includes sack yardage as well in the games against A&M and Ole Miss. I think some of that can continue here. Alabama will be able to hit a deep shot or two. But we have seen some pretty respected under money in this game and would obviously corroborate the fact that professional bettors believe that Arkansas will struggle to move the football, much like we've seen from the Razorbacks so far this season.
Hey, I leaned LSU to begin with, and then I talked to one of my real good friends who's an LSU fan, and you love hearing this, Ferman. LSU's 11.5. That is way too many points to lay. LSU's defense hasn't been good. It was an amazing cover against Missouri last week. Auburn offensively can't hang with this team. I don't know how you feel about it. I think laying 11.5 I feel comfortable with it.
You know, most importantly, where does Dunaway come down in this game, Lance? I mean, that's what you really need as the full-on indicator to know if you should be laying the points or looking to take the dog.
Before he answers, Ferman, just let him tell you about a prop bet at mybookie.ag he played last night.
Okay, at mybookie.ag, Ferman, you can take, for differing odds, you can move, totals. Like Rashee Rice was... You could go 23 or more yards for not a lot of payback, 43 for a little bit more. I pushed it up for where I bet 50. I was going to win $225 if he went over 73 yards. I felt good about that. You know by now he finished with 72 yards. That's not a winning ticket, by the way. That's close. That was a really good projection by me. Should have slid that dial back down to 71. Yeah, that would have been a winner right there.
He'd have dropped his last pass.
He probably would have. I am not playing the LSU-Auburn game. That is too close to call for me. I don't know what Auburn team will show up.
Well, that's a little bit disappointing then. I mean, I figure you were going to tilt the scales one way or another. But when you look at this game, Lance, I think you mentioned Auburn and some of their offensive shortcomings. The way to beat LSU this year has been throwing against a beleaguered secondary. Unfortunately for Auburn, you look at some of the numbers, they haven't been able to pick apart a Power 5 secondary over the last 2 seasons, and I'm not suddenly sure that coming out of the bye week, Auburn has a vertical passing attack. Now, Payton Thorne is more than capable. We've seen some of the numbers he put forth at Michigan State. But I think Hugh Freeze is going to be better served to try and shorten the game a little bit, bleed the clock down, and limit some of the possessions. Would have no problems making a case for LSU as the favorite here. But I think the angle that I found to be offering a little bit more upside would be to go under the total. As scary as it is to do in LSU games, I think this is a team where they can punch down a little bit in class and not worry about giving up 300-plus passing yards like they have each of the last couple weeks.
Actually, my favorite play of the week is sort of in your backyard and then down the street a few hundred miles. It's in Corvallis. I love UCLA.
The Vegas backyard.
Corvallis? Barely in the same country.
Get this man a map.
I love UCLA getting points in Corvallis. No way DJ Uiagalelei against this UCLA defense goes back-to-back good games. UCLA road win against Oregon State. What do you think, Ferman?
I think that you must be a land baron if you think Corvallis is in Las Vegas' backyard. But it's about 900 miles separating us. I'm not John Dutton here owning the Yellowstone Ranch that I'm able to call the
First
Pacific
time that's ever
Northwest
been
my
uttered.
backyard.
I've got stock in Exxon. That's a nothing buy for us. We can buy 900 miles like that.
When you look at this game, I think UCLA has shown extremely well defensively, and a lot of the questions that you had about this team going into last week's game against Washington State were answered, where they really clamped down, not just on the Cougars' ground game, which everybody does, but slowed Cam Ward as well, knowing that Washington State was a little bit lean at the wide receiver position. We'll see if that defense travels against an Oregon State team that found its footing both on the ground and through the air with its most balanced offensive display. Up in Berkeley was scoring 52 points against Cal, 200 on the ground, nearly 300 yards passing, and DJU throws for 5 touchdown passes. This game is extremely interesting because I think it's 2 teams that we don't know a ton about right now, and if Dante Moore can continue to mature, a.k.a. not throw costly interceptions that result in pick sixes going the other way, I think UCLA is more than a live underdog here, but I do think we could see some points at a premium if both of these teams want to commit to their ground game.
Todd Ferman is on Twitter at Todd Ferman, and BetTheBoardPodcast.com is where he covers all the games of interest. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Texas A&M, following their loss to Alabama, is catching points on the road at Tennessee. Nobody, even in losses, is for Texas A&M, they haven't given up run yardage. Nobody's been able to run on them. Why is Tennessee favored 3 in this game if nobody can run on Texas A&M?
This game is kind of ping pong. From 3 to 3.5, you saw a wave of professional bettors come in on the underdog here. And I think when you try and dive into a game like this, Tennessee has a major scheduling advantage in this spot that's always difficult to try and quantify, whether you bump their rating up 1.5 points based on that potential variable. Given the fact that they come in well-rested off a bye, A&M entering on the road off that physical game against Alabama that I'm sure they're kicking themselves for, knowing they had plenty of opportunities to get inside the number and potentially win that game if they're able to make a play or two offensively in the second half. You mentioned the run defense for Texas A&M so far this year, and it has been outstanding, a far cry from a group that was gashed by everybody on a weekly basis last year. Tennessee's going to have to find something in the vertical passing game. Joe Milton hasn't been able to command the offense the same way Hendon Hooker did most of last year. The receivers nowhere close to what Tennessee had on the outside a season ago, and life will only get that much more difficult with no Brew McCoy, Squirrel White, and Ramel Keaton, not guys that are really going to try and exploit this A&M defense. I lean towards the dog here, but that Alabama loss still lingering probably keeps me on the sidelines. Again, if we think Texas A&M is the side, I think their defense has to step up and raise its level of play. I don't think Max Johnson will go out there and be able to pick apart this Tennessee defense. It's been a little bit underrated in its own right. Could definitely see 27-24 type football game somewhere in the cards. I'll lean under the total of 55.
Now, I had Louisville last week against Notre Dame, but if Notre Dame would have shown up, this would be a marquee matchup with USC and Notre Dame. To me, and look, the money's going to be split on this game for them, and the number's kind of stuck at 2.5. To me, though, Notre Dame looks like they're out of gas. I think this is a quality play with USC. I know we can't trust their defense necessarily. Seems like a good play, though.
It has been a great two-way battle in the betting market for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned, Lance. I think most of us knew that Notre Dame could be a little bit flat last week against Louisville, but there's not a gas station along the way for this team to go fill its tank and suddenly look like a well-oiled machine after playing 7 straight weeks. This will mark its 8th against the USC team that's 6-0. Hasn't looked great by any stretch of the imagination, but we knew coming into the year when it came to USC that they had a glorified preseason schedule, that they had to get through unscathed because the next 6 games are really going to test them. Now, you'd like to see USC show a little bit better, not needing 3 overtimes to knock off Arizona, being able to find a little bit of margin against Colorado and not needing to go deep into the fourth quarter against Arizona State. But if this is a team that's just been hanging around, looking a little bored out there, there's no doubt you'll see another gear from them here. At 3, USC would be the only way for me to look. Notre Dame came into this game, much like the A&M Tennessee game, off a bye. Much different dynamic here, but I think Notre Dame a little bit limited offensively. And we actually saw USC get the best of the Irish last year in the trenches. Not sure how much different that'll be this time around. So would lean towards the Trojans plus 3, but should be a fascinating game to see USC finally step up in class.
So I gave everyone UCLA winning on the road, a Pac-12 team. He just said USC winning on the road, Pac-12 team. I'm going to go with another Pac-12 road win. I like Oregon in the game of the weekend against Washington. More complete. I love their running game. How do you feel about the marquee game of the weekend in Seattle?
You're exactly right when you look at Oregon and some of the balance that they've been able to show through the first couple of games this year. You know, Bo Nix doing a tremendous job commanding the offense. We weren't quite sure how it was going to look with Kenny Dillingham taking the Arizona State job, but Will Stein has stepped in and done admirably there. There's no doubt that this will be a major step up for Oregon in terms of their ability to match Washington's score for score. You look at the Huskies, their defensive line has been pushed around a little bit, and that may be an area that Oregon is able to exploit. At the same time, Oregon has been banged up in the secondary. Signs point to them getting a couple of returners in that particular arena, and not a moment too soon to match up against Jalen Polk, Rome Odunze, and, of course, Jalen McMillan, who should be back from injury. So a lot of factors there. Michael Penix was outstanding in leading the upset last year against Oregon. This is a series that the Ducks have really dominated over the last 15 to 18 meetings, but Washington has been much better at home. I made the game 3, so I don't have a strong conviction one way or another. But the one thing we saw from Arizona that they did so effectively against Washington, they used a lot of too high safety looks and forced Washington to be much more methodical moving the ball down the field. Washington actually ran it at a pretty efficient clip. And if that's the case in this spot, knowing that Washington is outside the top 100 in pace and tempo, and that Oregon is operated largely in a phone booth, I think those folks looking for a 45-41 Pac-12 type shootout will be a little bit disappointed. In my opinion, the first team to 35 wins in Seattle. I like this under quite a bit.
And if you have a player prop on Kyrie Jackson, if you can find a player prop anywhere at over a half on an interception, put your life savings on that. I believe Kyrie Jackson with a big game, former Alabama guy, now in a Duck uniform.
I mean, I don't have that much in the way of life savings right now because I'm trying to figure out how I pick up tracts of land to get me from here to Corvallis.
Got to buy the joint up. Hey, by the way, once you give people something they like, they never forget it. We have multiple people asking for your favorite overs. Can we just make this a thing? Can you give us 2 overs this week? I know you want them to play the unders, but they like the overs.
I was going to say, I mean, with the marquee games, people go, man, we don't want boring football and to root against human achievement like this guy does every single Friday and ruining our weekend. There's one over that I like a decent amount in the American Athletic Conference between FAU and USF. USF was embarrassed last week by UAB, gave up 56 points. But you know what? I'm not sure that the defense can make overnight improvements. And when you look at USF, the only way that they can cover up some of their defensive deficiencies is by going out there to play track meet football. So it should be a fun game in the AAC, a total that opened 59. It's now in that 60-60.5 range. I like that game over a little bit. And you know what? I'll go one more. Louisiana Monroe, a team that doesn't really play a whole heck of a lot of defense, takes on Texas State. If Texas State plays on its front foot like I think they will here, knowing that they blew the game last week against Louisiana Lafayette, we could see points and points aplenty. The big concern is the Warhawks are going to do everything they can to shorten the game. I'm just not sure that's the recipe for success. So we'll go over Louisiana Monroe and Texas State at 64.5.
Okay. Furman with 2 games. I wouldn't watch in my backyard for the overs, but if you guys want those, there you go. Furman, thank you very much for the time. Enjoy the football this weekend.
Hey, it is always a pleasure, gentlemen. Best of luck with your wagers this weekend.
All right, buddy. You take care. Todd Ferman with us. BetTheBoardPodcast.com for all of his thoughts. BetTheBoardPodcast.com. and on Twitter at Todd Ferman with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
That's right. And part of the show being brought to you, LT, by our friends at Redmont Distilling.
Yeah, the weekend is here. Pick up a bottle of the locally owned and operated product. It's gluten-free. It's 8 times distilled. Fantastic vodka. Good for those Bloody Marys on Saturday morning as you're watching game day. Ask for it by name if they don't have it. Tell them to get it. It's Redmont vodka.
Okay, a couple of things before we get to our Monday morning headlines, which is in the next segment, always at 10:25 here on a Friday. That's coming up in the next segment. We'll get to that. Rockstar's Playhouse in the 11 o'clock segment, and, of course, our picks after trash in the final segment of the show today. But in basketball circles, would you be surprised if I told you yesterday at the media day for the West Coast Conference, for the first time that I can remember, Gonzaga's not the pick to win the conference.
St. Mary's?
St. Mary's.
Yeah, if it wasn't Gonzaga, it's going to be St. Mary's. That's crazy.
Is that shocking?
Yeah,
how do you go into that Gonzaga?
And now you get to play the underdog.
That's right. Nobody
Mark
believed
Few.
in us.
Hey, nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody
They
believed
picked
in
us
us.
7 and 5.
Good news for those that buy tickets to concerts, football games, or go on vacation. Federal Trade Commission is one step away from banning hidden fees on purchases like hotel rooms, vacations, airfare,
like Verbo
tickets.
Well,
yes.
I mean, if Chipotle's got to roll out calorie count on a burrito, you should have to do this.
Well, Verbo is just crazy. Like, you'll see a room condo at the beach, $135 a night, and you're like, wow, that seems like a good deal.
Book reservation.
And you click on it, and it's like $275 cleaning fee, $350 resort fee, and you're like, you got to be kidding me.
So they've got to advertise that on the price before you click on it or anything. It's got to be priced in, no hidden fees.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, really.
Yeah, same with your tickets too. None of the surcharges and all of that go on. A couple of things away from the college football. A couple of games going on tomorrow that are very interesting. Notre Dame, can you pull up a forecast for South Bend?
Sure,
because I want to ask LT because they'll occasionally let the grass grow when USC's in town. Like, there's a good chance they haven't pulled out the lawnmower in South Bend.
I've never really understood that because my 4.4 guy goes to a 4.5 and your 4.7 guy goes to a 4.8.
Exactly,
It does. But if the conditions are not good, from the boys who always do their practice news conferences outside in sunshine in Southern California, if it's a rainy forecast, do you worry about that? I don't even know what the forecast is.
I don't. I think Furman brought up something that's an outstanding point. Look, Joe Alt is a tremendous tackle, one of the best in college football, but he brought this up. Last year, the Trojans really had their way with Notre Dame in the trenches. So I think it starts there. If Estime doesn't have a big game, I don't think Notre Dame has a shot.
Well, do you want it to rain, Jim, or not?
Oh, I don't care. I'm going to watch the game regardless. I will not be in the stands, so I don't need a pullover. What are those little ponchos you buy?
I would love to be in the stands, and I wish it was 65 degrees.
It is going to rain all day. At kick, the temperature is going to be somewhere around 50, falling into the 40s during the game. It looks like the rain is supposed to stop, though, for the game.
Well, if it does rain and it's in the 40s, that does benefit Notre Dame.
Yeah.
No, just a little.
It's going to rain basically starting tonight or this afternoon and rain all the way up until the game, it appears. So it's going to be a soggy track.
David is right. So, too, is Josh. Notre Dame does have that artificial turf now.
It's going to be wet turf.
Yeah. Darn it. I miss the days where they let the grass grow. A lot.
That was it goes back to the Bush Push game, I think, right? Was the first time that there were allegations, or that I remember there being allegations of that. The Bush Push game. Charlie Weiss days that supposedly that fast USC Reggie Bush, Lindell White team got up there and they were like, my God, we're playing in a wheat field.
People are debunking this. I didn't realize it either. Field turf in Notre Dame now.
Yeah, it is. That's what I just said. Yeah, the turf is there at Notre Dame. Speaking of turfs, I was joking with Brown about this. They're playing an NFL game at Tottenham Stadium. It's a multi-billion-dollar stadium they built for soccer, and they play Premier League soccer on what?
Natural grass.
Natural grass.
Yeah.
But when the NFL comes to town, they play on turf there. Von Miller says it's the worst turf ever that they played on, and that's because it's a portable turf that's put in on top of the natural grass, and he says he's coming off that reconstructed knee. It was his first game back. And he said it was the least padded turf he's ever played on. And there's video out there. There's a time-lapse thing that shows it. It's basically pallets that are brought in and they're laid over. Here it is right here. Look, this is the Tottenham Stadium. and that's the turf that they play on, they actually cover up the grass. I assume, Brown, to where it doesn't mess up the grass for the permanent tenant?
I guess.
I mean, this will start back over. Look, the real grass is underneath, and they bring up this turf field.
My gosh, how much money's Tottenham got?
Look at that.
They got a lot.
I mean, this is a lot of effort to play a NFL game.
I guess they play a couple of them
somewhere not in America.
Yep.
I mean, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Why are we playing over there, man?
I don't know. Why are we going to that much effort?
If we are playing on the damn grass, the natural grass.
That is crazy. So Von Miller doesn't like the surface, huh?
Yeah.
Boys, NFL players, they'll bitch about a surface, won't they?
That's a pretty cool stadium, though.
It is.
All right. When we come back, our Monday headlines today, that's up next. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hempill LT. Man, 50s into the 40s for the Notre Dame game. Eventually, that'll get here, and you'll want that cooling system, heating system to work.
Yeah, best month of the year, October. And for the month of October, 0% for 60 months for qualified customers, plus that free Wi-Fi upgrade, 10-year labor warranty on any system replacement, and they've got a $69 fall tune-up. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hempill Services. Tell them the next round sent you, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at HydroLive. Mention next round at checkout. Save 20% off any service. HydroLive's got 3 locations, Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
Do you need extra cash handy? Look no further than Legacy Credit Union for whatever loan your lifestyle requires. It only takes a few minutes to apply and request the amount you need to give you peace of mind. With affordable low rates and manageable payback plans, a Legacy Lifestyle loan is crafted just for you. Apply online today at legacycreditunion.com/join. Lifestyle loans from Legacy. Terms and conditions may apply. Legacy is federally insured by the NCUA.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, brombergs.com.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
And I tell you about a couple of things throughout the year that helps you with your health. And it's just a fact of life as you get older. There are some things you got to keep getting checked. And since I think I'm leading the way as the oldest guy on our family up here and probably the oldest guy among all of our listeners and viewers on this wonderful digital platform.
That's a bold statement.
I just feel like I'm the oldest person in our little circle here, all of us in the Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room, and I know I am up here. I just like to remind you guys, take care of yourself. I want you all to make it to my age at some point, and I hope I go another 100 years, and I'm doing this.
Another 100?
Another 100. Another one, and another one, Rockstar. I don't ever want to die.
You'd be a wizard then.
I don't ever want to die. But our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama can help you out. UCA, with over 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama, treating all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones. My dad suffered tremendously from kidney stones when I was a kid. I've had friends who now have survived prostate cancer because of the early detection. That's what this is so important, and that's what they can do for you with their 35 urologists in 16 locations. Visit urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com to schedule an appointment. Early detection is so important with everything right there, urologycentersalabama.com. We're about to get to our headlines. A couple other notes. The top 4 teams in the country shouldn't really be challenged, right? Georgia at Vandy, Beck coming off that 389-yard 4-touchdown game. Should be an easy day in Nashville for the Dogs, right?
It should be an easy day in Nashville for the Dogs. I think the Dogs now, this is the team you saw, and I guess it just depends if they want to play. I mean, what they've been able to do to Vanderbilt over the last couple of years, 23 straight wins, not over Vanderbilt, but 23 straight wins overall, the longest in the FBS. But they're 5 straight wins over Vanderbilt by a combined score of 233-33.
break
those numbers down. I mean, that's insane.
Clark Lee is what side of the ball?
Defense.
They have not given up less than 35 points since the start of September. They played Hawaii and Alabama A&M. They handled those teams well. Since then, Wake 36, UNLV 40, Kentucky 45, Missouri 38, Florida 38. Florida and Kentucky don't have any offense, and they're scoring on them. I just don't see how Georgia's – I don't know what a good number for Georgia would be in this game, but if you held them below 45, I'd be stunned.
Michigan, and these are all easy games. We don't have to go into a deep dive into them, but Michigan playing host to Indiana. They got 11 first-place votes now. Indiana's offense sucks. Michigan hasn't allowed more than 10 points all season long. That should be a boring game.
Yeah, and Blake Corum leading the FBS right now with 10 rushing touchdowns. Opponents have yet to take a snap inside the Michigan 10.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
About
that is incredible.
I mean,
they
say
haven't
what
played,
you want
they
about
haven't played
opponents.
anybody, but still, yeah.
I mean, even just a short field.
You know what that is? That's me opening a chain of steakhouses in the state of Washington, and my rollout advertising was going to be the Red Zone sponsorship on the Michigan radio or the Indiana radio network or something, and I get no reads. Sorry, no read on the broadcast, Jim.
Yeah.
Ohio State should get their running game going this week as they're in West Lafayette against Purdue. Purdue's really bad against the run. And then there's Florida State and Syracuse. Florida State's averaging 42 points per game. Syracuse is not a bad team, but I don't believe I'm about to say this or not. Is there a chance that Florida State, this could get closer than expected because Florida State could get caught looking ahead to Duke next week?
Riley Leonard, whether or not, I don't think he's playing against NC State. So
I don't think he is either. I think they're going to arrest him for Florida State.
I don't think Florida State's really worried about this. I think they had their one big scare game. Now, they're going to play some really talented teams coming up, but their one big scare game was earlier against BC.
I'm like you, Dunaway. I would have said Syracuse is not awful until last Saturday.
Yeah. They looked better against Clemson in the loss, and last Saturday North Carolina took them to the woodshed.
Yeah, so I don't really know.
I gave more credit of that to North Carolina than I did to Syracuse.
But, I mean, is Florida State as good as North Carolina? I mean, I think so. But the Clemson thing was what was weird. I think that was more of a function of Clemson.
So top 4 teams, easy games. Oklahoma's got a bye. Penn State's got even an easier game against UMass. Washington and Oregon play each other. Texas is on a bye. USC and Notre Dame is tough. Alabama, Arkansas, North Carolina, Miami's tough. Ole Miss with a bye. That's your top 13 teams right there in a weekend that doesn't have a ton of great games at the top, but enough to make it an interesting weekend. I think we got 4 top 25 versus top 25 matchups.
Yeah, and I brought this up to Ferman, and we said this yesterday. If Notre Dame didn't lose to Louisville And what was the other game? Was one other, somebody blew it last week. We would have had 3 basically top 10 matchups. Who was the other one?
Real quick, Jay Price is the NBC night game. Michigan-Indiana is Fox Big Noon at 11 a.m. The NBC night game, of course, USC Notre Dame. They're out of the Big Ten this week.
Ohio State Purdue is also at 11 o'clock. It is the Peacock game.
Miami takes victory formation. Miami, North Carolina, Marquee, USC, Notre Dame, and then Oregon, Washington. It's still going to be a great weekend of college football.
Yeah, is the early window fantastic last week, not so good this weekend. 2:30s where you get just a lot of juicy games, including Oregon and Washington, Texas A&M and Tennessee and Knoxville. You get underrated Kansas, Oklahoma State game there. You get an underrated BYU, TCU game. Chandler Morris hurt for TCU. Opportunity for BYU in Fort Worth in that contest.
Yeah, I can't figure BYU out. I think they're good. They're not great. Keaton Slovis has struggled a little bit with that offense. And this was a blessing in disguise last year for TCU when Chandler Morris went down, and obviously Max Duggan comes in, Heisman finalists. They played for the national championship. Better athletes right now, TCU.
And sneaky good game, afternoon window, ESPN Plus, North Dakota State, North Dakota, if you like the best of the best in the FCS.
Was it that game days last? No, they were Montana State.
I think so.
Yeah, that's right.
What is that, the mile marker or the border something?
Yeah, I can't remember what they played for.
I think it was Montana and one of the North Dakotas.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah. All right, here we go. It is time for Monday's headlines today. The spotlight being brought to you today by our friends at the Comedy Club. It's next Wednesday night, man, when we all want to join at the Comedy Club and enjoy a great night of comedy with this guy, TJ Miller.
Yeah, the Gentle Giant Tour. Book those tickets. It's one night only. This dude is hilarious. He's one of the most sought-after comedians in the world. You only get one opportunity to see him this year. The Comedy Club Stardome. Doors open at 6 o'clock. It's an 18-plus show. Show's going to get going at 7:30. To order tickets, book it. They've got great food. They've got a great bar. Get in. See all the fine folks at Comedy Club Stardome. 444-0008 or stardome.com.
The College Football Spotlight.
Like the game's already been played. Monday's headlines today.
All right, Monday's headlines today. LT, you want to go first or last?
I don't have one today.
You don't have one today. All right. So let's go. Good call.
No. I wrote it because I could see your hesitation. You're reading it.
I can't even read it. I still can't read it.
Yeah, there was no chance I'm rolling out with that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one, though, right?
It's so good.
I'll start it.
I looked and I was laughing the whole last segment after reading it.
That was on the fly, too.
Yeah, that was really good.
Well, now I want to see it. Don't erase it. I want to see it in the break.
No, you need to see it in the break. I'm fine with him not showing it, but you need to see it in the break.
You got to see the pictures and all these, too, to make this work.
Gotcha.
Like Bo Nix, you see the picture there. He's got his hands up, showing you just how I guess it's a touchdown signal, or how much they have to go for a first down. Headline is, how big? This big. Big Knicks energy as Huskies get ducked. Don't look now, but Jim may actually see Bo in New York City for the Heisman presentation.
Oh, you good, Jimmy.
45-38 Ducks win.
They win 45-38. He's going to be a big part of that, and he will be your Heisman favorite rolling into Sunday morning.
Yeah. The page 2 story is from baseball last night. It's not me, it's you.
Attaboy, bro.
Everything's about your girl.
No, it's not me, it's you. No, that's the everyone's blaming it on the landmine. It wasn't me. It was the Braves that caused you that game. It's not me, it's you. And then the exclusive. Girls never fake it, LT. They never fake it. Ever. Never.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I tell you, she's faking that.
Yeah, exclusive. Girls never fake it, Rockstar. What are your headlines today, Rockstar?
Nick suffers from penis envy.
Ow! Good logo usage. Ow!
The organ option. I love the jump man.
That is so well done.
That is
Nick
good,
suffers
Rocky.
from penis envy. Ow! Good use.
Yeah, Rockstar's use of logos the last 2 weeks has been really,
By
really
the way,
good.
those are just good, just one-letter logos.
I love Washington's color scheme, the uniform, the stadium.
I like Oregon goes. They try a little too hard at times, but just their basics are really good.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Washington's look. That's a really good look.
Monday's headlines before the games are even played. Brownie, what do you have for us today?
Mine's from the LA Times. Unwatchable. Even Notre Dame fans can't watch the Trojan defense. Big Notre Dame fan there. He can't even look, man. He can't look. Head in hands, man. Even he's a Notre Dame fan and can't watch it.
I wonder if he has to watch it on Peacock in Vatican City.
I have no idea.
I don't remember my password.
Page 2, photos. Taylor Swift and NFL players spend night on the town in an obvious, genuine relationship. That's on page 2 of the LA Times.
That was exclusive in the Dunaway Digest.
Trust me, they're not selling a lot of those rags right now. Taylor Swift's camp could pay off the LA Times to print that.
Page 3, a Birmingham media personality is organizing an SEC boycott over a clip safety concerns. You can't have those punt
You're going to
return
go out
calls.
and pick out a sandwich tomorrow, and you're going to look up by mistake at the
They all
exact
have
same
those
time.
special glasses.
We're going to, again, public service announcement. If you're one of the 100,000 fans in Bryant-Denny Stadium at 12:08, do not look directly into the eclipse.
That's what Dunaway wanted us to fly the plane over with the banner the next round.
Just be safe out there. And if you're, Kool-Aid, seriously, if you're returning a punt, just let that one go, man. Do one of these.
Yeah.
Wave everybody off. Just
Right.
let that one roll. Your eyesight the rest of the season, much more important to me than fielding that one punt exactly at 12:08. What is wrong with we'll take a water break. Let's take a water break, 12:05 to 12:15 to get this eclipse out of the way. Let Dari do some damn work back at the SEC Network. Give us an update on the 11 o'clock games while we take a break.
Dunaway makes this eclipse sound like it's the Ark of the Covenant and Indiana Jones. Like Kool-Aid McKinstry's face is going to melt off.
Don't look at it.
I know.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
There you go. That is our Monday's headlines today, brought to you by our friends at the Comedy Club. Again, get out there, man, and enjoy a little TJ Miller action.
Yeah,
right?
he'll be either in studio with us. We're going to be doing something with TJ next Wednesday. We'll give you more information on that. But if you want to see him live, puts on great performances. I've seen him his last couple of times in Birmingham, 444-0008 or stardome.com.
Yeah, Stardome, man. They've been serving up laughs, since about 1983?
Well, I remember the big freeze, and I think that was in 91, 93. That was when the one on Green Springs burned down.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to our man John Ed Willoughby, and they actually sent somebody out on like a bobsled to get Bruce Ayers.
Really?
Yeah, he was like walking back. It was a weird story. Now, maybe I was delirious and don't remember all this, but the fire, Carrot Top, all of his props were burned down.
I remember
And he was
that,
supposed to be on The Tonight Show like a couple of, and I'm putting all this together, but he was supposed to be on The Tonight Show, couldn't be on The Tonight Show because his stuff burned up in the old Comedy Club Stardome, but it gave him an opportunity to build what a lot of comedians feel is one of the best comedy clubs in all of America.
Just in case you're about to head to the pumps and fill up for the weekend, and with the crisis going on in the Middle East and everything, we're worrying about gas prices getting back up to maybe the $7 range if they start turning off things in the Middle East. The Buccaneers are in throwback uniforms this weekend. 1976, the original creamsicle uniform.
You were my birth, by the way.
Was it? 76?
Yeah, 76, bicentennial baby.
It was the birth of my fandom of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's right. I saw that on your shirt earlier this morning, and I was thinking about that's the year I was born, 76.
What year did you start pulling for him?
That year.
Really?
76,
Because I was a kid in elementary school, and I've told it before, everybody was a Cowboys fan around here, or everybody was a Steelers fan because they were so dang good. And I didn't like either one of them because I like to bet the underdogs. And here's this new team starting. And there was a rumor Hugh Culverhouse somehow had a tie to University of Alabama.
Well, Jim, he does have a tie.
Is he an Alabama grad?
Yeah, it's a business school's named after him.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, I was a kid, Brown. I was in elementary school.
I'm sorry.
And the debate was, is he going to put a franchise in Birmingham? But he was going to get a franchise, and it ended up being Tampa in Seattle instead of Birmingham and somewhere else. So I was all in on this expansion. When it was announced Tampa, I was sad, and then I saw the uniforms. And I was like, oh, give me a little of that creamsicle.
Yeah, get a little gay pirate with a blade in his mouth.
So I jumped on. We played 14 games back then, and we were 0-14 the first year. It was a great time to be alive.
Yeah, they were like, thanks, Dunaway.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, who I did not choose because I didn't live anywhere close to Seattle, I was like, they're so fun. They got the King Dome. They were even on Monday Night Football. They
Great
had
uniform.
Jim Zorn and Steve Largent. I was like, God, I sort of chose badly.
Yeah. Well, I love that old Seahawks uniform. That silver with a different bird on the.
Yeah, they've jacked their uniform.
Yeah, I agree. I love that old Seahawks.
Then the next year we went 2-12.
Yeah.
Then the next year we were a little better, and then the fourth year we're in the freaking NFC Championship game against
9-7, lost 9-0.
The little boy from the poor part of Homewood.
Yep.
And I thought to myself,
Alabaster beats Homewood.
Yeah.
What a day.
Poor part of Alabaster, poor part of Homewood for a right to go to the Super Bowl.
Was that Doug Williams' team?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Doug
Who
Williams
was your quarterback?
Well, it's Pat Hayden, but he broke his thumb. And then Vince Ferragamo had to take over.
Maybe the original Am I. They don't even have their starting quarterback. We're going to go to the Super Bowl.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, it did not.
You guys weren't beating the Steelers. We weren't beating the Steelers.
What was that game? 10-0?
Our buddy Greg went out to do a roof, and a dude that played on that Rams team, and he played in the NFL forever, but he is in our listening area, listens to the show. But he was telling Greg about the Georgia Frontier story.
Yeah.
You remember her, the old owner of the Rams.
Right.
Her husband ended up floating. He drowned in the Pacific. And they always said, yeah, look into that a little bit.
All I remember from
she
her
took the team over.
was after you guys won the Super Bowl over in Atlanta, she was smashed, and they had her on the stage.
We've seen that so many times, though. So Dan Gilbert did it when the Cavs won it.
Yeah.
Who else has mumbled through? Stan Kroenke did.
I think Robert Kraft in some of the early ones.
Yeah. They had her on the stage interviewing her, which I've never understood. I don't care what the owner has to say.
I think it's just part of the protocol.
Oh, there's no doubt. It's the fact that they determine who's got the TV contracts is what it is. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know anybody out there who's like, who I want to hear from is the owner.
That's right.
I want to hear from the coach. I want to hear from the star player, and then let's get to the studio show.
Speaking of Greg, Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. He'll bring you Rockstar's Playhouse coming up in about 30 minutes on Rockstar's Playhouse today. He'll also give you that free no-cost roof inspection. It is worth your time to get Greg on the roof. You see Greg right there with that Storm Restoration Roof Black Beauty truck there, the Next Round logo on it. You can look him up, Greg from Pell City on Facebook. That's on the side of his truck there as well. Easy to contact him there, or call his cell number, 205-542-3531, 542-3531. That free, no-cost, no-obligation roof inspection, because anything can happen, even in a small, short, quick summer hailstorm, to loosen a shingle, bend a shingle. That strong wind in the summer can do roof damage as well, and maybe you don't even know it, and then it's raining like maybe it has in your area the past couple of days, and then you got water seepage, you get some rotting going on. Next thing you know, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of repair. Or you can just call Greg from Pell City now and get a free no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City Storm Restoration Roofing.
The Burnout with the SEC Network's Peter Burns and Ryan Brown weekly at Disrupt the Media on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy, all under one roof. It's our friends at Hydra Live Therapy. IV therapy treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, and boost your immune system, and more. If you mention the Next Round at checkout, save 20% off any service. You can join the IV League today. Members are rewarded with deep discounts. Make sure you ask about that. Hydra Life Therapy open 7 days a week. Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
Red Wing Shoes is pleased to announce the ultimate fit and comfort savings event during the month of October. Mention the Next Round and receive a special discount of up to $30 off. Visit your local Red Wing Shoe store in Pelham or Trussville to have your feet electronically measured. A certified fit specialist will then recommend the proper footwear and orthotic to ensure you receive a comfortable pair of boots or shoes. So be prepared as the fall weather begins to change. Enjoy a pair of classic Red Wing Pecos pull-ons, Heritage Iron Rangers, or Vask hiking boots from Red Wing.
The Next Round golf cart is back, and it's presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. For $89, play Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the renovated Woodward Golf Club. $247 in value for just $89. Or get bonus gifts with the Deluxe Golf Cart for $119. No restrictions, good through September of 2024, but supplies are limited. Buy right now at nextround.store.
Football season is here, and Legacy Credit Card is just what you need to manage your spending safely and wisely. Credit cards offer better consumer protection against fraud when compared to a debit card, which is linked directly to your bank account. Legacy offers rates as low as 8.9% APR on credit cards compared to major card providers who advertise rates as high as 29% APR. Look no further than Legacy. Open a credit card online in minutes at legacycreditunion.com/join. APR's annual percentage rate, rates, and offers subject to change. See website for details. Federally insured by NCUA.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
All right, we'll hear some sounds of the game today, powered up by our friends at the Pants Store, Game Day headquarters, Alabama and Auburn Game Day polos, hats, quarter zips. Choose from famous name brands like Gentile, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Elephant Head, and Taylor and Mick. And for the ladies out there, if you're ready to go to the game, how about a romper as the weather cools off a bit? Clear bags, booties, and more. Find any of your game day needs at pantstore.com, pantstore.com. 6 locations, Auburn, Crestline, Hoover, Huntsville, Leeds, and Tuscaloosa, or anywhere in the world at pantstore.com. Auburn on the road to Baton Rouge. Hugh Freeze gets asked about having to stop Jaden Daniels. Here's the Auburn coach.
So what's the game plan this weekend for somebody who is so talented and who can beat you in pretty much any way he wants?
Yeah, I don't, obviously we're not going to talk about game plan, but I don't think you stop him. There's too many weapons around him, and he's too good. I think you look at the key to this game is, can we hold him to field goals? Truthfully, no one has stopped him, and he plays so effortless. Literally, he runs 40-yard touchdowns and it looks like he's jogging, and yet no one's catching him. And his balls are so accurate to those talented receivers. I think it's a hard task. Again, I think to this point, and I haven't watched future opponents, so somebody will use it for bulletin board material, but it's to this point, it's the best offensive personnel I've seen in this league.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot. He does have a little rib injury coming off the game last week. It'll be interesting to see if that impacts his ability or desire to run into contact.
I love the honesty out of Hugh Freeze. And this offense is that good. If you watched the Missouri game last week, they should have lost that game. But the offense was unstoppable for LSU, and they're averaging 45 points per game. This is a guy that has scored 4+ touchdowns in 5 consecutive games. That is hard to do. And if Auburn does limit them to field goals, Auburn's got a shot. I just don't see where Auburn's able to do that. There are 7 FBS receivers that have 600+ yards receiving right now. LSU's got 2 of the 7.
Yeah. Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. Yep.
Hugh Freeze coached 3 times in that stadium, by the way. Now, Ole Miss, LSU, I think is a big rivalry for Ole Miss, more so than it is for LSU, the Magnolia Bowl. I think it's probably their second biggest rival behind State. So it's an important game for Ole Miss. 41-35, he lost his first year. 10-7, he lost his second year. The only one that got away from him was his next to last year, 38-21. He lost by 17. But
those were really good Ole Miss teams.
They were.
This Auburn team is not where it will be in the next couple of years.
It's not, but I just wanted to paint a picture. It's not a guy that's just going down there and got blown out at Ole Miss. I mean, he was plays away from winning 2 of those 3.
More on an improving Alabama team as they host Arkansas coming up this weekend after LT tells us quickly about our friends at Odie's.
Odie's Tavern, live music tonight, tomorrow night. 2 locations now, the original in Crestline Village, where we do Odie's team trivia every Wednesday night. The new location in Homewood, right up for Broadway on Oxmoor Road. Great food from Rodney Davis. Ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Stop into one of the 2 locations. Enjoy live music. Go see Will Haver and that great staff, Odie's Tavern.
You can go listen to Tyler Watts talk of champions right now at Roll Tide Pods. Like and subscribe, part of the Disrupt the Media family on YouTube. Again, it's Roll Tide Pods. Just type that in. It'll pop up. This is Tyler's star of the game, Justin Aboigbe, and he tells you why he thinks the pass rush for Alabama's improved since they couldn't touch Quinn Ewers in the Texas game.
Texas, you guys
couldn't get any pass rush going. Fast forward to this game, you guys are in all kinds of pressure. What do you think has changed, and what did you guys learn from that Texas game to make sure that you guys have been as successful at the pass rush as this game?
I mean, just we looked at that game as a lesson. Hopefully no more lessons to be learned this season, but just taking away the positives. Each and every week we was looking at just getting better, becoming more dominant defense, looking at every little thing, whether it be pass rush, stopping the run, just trying to be better. And that's something that, I feel like we showed on Saturday, and our goal is to continue to show that.
I bet that guy doesn't get carded. He looks like he's been in the NFL for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, he does have an old look for him, yeah.
Alabama has done pretty well playing defense in the backfield of the opponent. Nobody has allowed more tackles for losses in the Southeastern Conference than Arkansas.
Yeah, the offensive line's been a problem, and that's one of the reasons you haven't seen big production from KJ Jefferson.
But you know who's next to last in that category is Alabama. Only one team has allowed more sacks than Arkansas. Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest equalizer is obviously turnovers, and Jalen Milroe is getting better. He's cleaning things up, but it's not past him to maybe have a game where he turns it over a couple of times and things get a little interesting.
We talked earlier about the run defense being so good for Arkansas. It may be another game you put into the hands of Jalen Milroe. Our Alabama Power point of the game today is Jalen Milroe talking about the one thing they've got to get better at if they're going to get where they want to go. Here's the quarterback.
For us to move forward, we have to limit penalties. That's very key. We got to limit penalties, and we have to get better in that regard. Because for us to want to have a winning environment, winning mindset, that's the number one thing we got to approach is just limiting the penalties. And on my end, as far as the cadence, I need to do a better job being loud and being more vocal and taking it, just allowing the guys to know what cadence we're on and being effective as far as with my cadence. I'm allowing those guys to understand what's going on, and then so I take full ownership of that. And moving forward, I'm gonna get together with the guys to ensure that everyone's on the same page before the ball snap.
Your account on the go with our friends at Alabama Power's new mobile app there. The new app features easy, safe, and reliable ways for you to access your account. Check your energy usage and set alerts so you're the first to know. Available for both Apple and Android devices. Simply search Alabama Power in your app store, alabamapower.com/mobile app to download it today, Brownie.
You've mentioned that Arkansas rush defense a few times today. Statistically, they have done better, but I want to tell you that most of that was built on the early part of that schedule.
Pre-SEC,
when they didn't give up 100 rush yards in their first 3 games. But after that, once they've gotten in conference, LSU put 189 on them, A&M put 204 on them, and Ole Miss put 196 on them. I do think Alabama, this is going to be a blowout.
I think a lot of people believe that.
It's going to be a blowout. Alabama, I think, can run on them.
Staying away from this game.
I think they'll get KJ Jefferson will not know which way is up during this game. This will be a blowout.
Dusty Dvorak last night from Danny and Dusty on SiriusXM. He's part of the broadcast crew on Hey Coach last evening with Nick Saban. He was the media guest. A lot of talk this year about making things personal, what other people say, media or players about your team. Nick Saban on the fight against players being motivated by what others say.
The big thing we fight is what these guys hear externally and how they are affected externally, what people say. I mean, even, the guy telling me today, we're 20-point favorites. I don't think we're 2-point favorites. I just think about what we have to do to win. But that's what people hear, and that affects them psychologically in terms of, we don't have to worry about this. We just show up, and you're auditioning all the time. So people are looking at you and making opinions about you, and if you don't play well, that's the last thing in their mind. And that's what they think. And they're actually looking, you played in the NFL, they're looking for what? They were looking for reasons not to pick you.
Yep.
All these kids think, I can catch 8 passes in a game and I'm in, like Flynn. No. Don't give anybody a reason not to pick you. But be the best you can be all the time as a person, as a student, as a player, and everything that you do. That's what we preach. That's what we try to do. That's how we try to keep them from getting complacent. But I'm telling you, we've been complacent before, and success can be a real enemy if you allow it to be.
Up against the break on the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Talking right to the commercial. I haven't heard "In Like Flynn" in a while.
If you're scoring at home, that music from the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Don't think us for that.
You think Eli was pulling a Dunaway going?
Yeah. Wrap it up, Coach.
Wrap it up, Coach.
I thought it was "In Like Flint."
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, that's what I always say.
It's got a rhyme. In like Flynn.
No, it's
like
based
Flynn,
on
a
a
person?
character.
Well,
it's
in like
a
Flint.
historic story. I will pull this real quick.
Jimmy, you're from the country as well. Was it in like Flint when you were growing
He's
up?
from West Palm. He's up in the country.
You're from West Palm? Wow. Thought you were from like somewhere around here.
Oh, we got a couple of orange growers in the.
He's from Florida too. Your fraternity brother.
There was a movie called "In Like Flynn." Errol Flynn. I think
In
that's
like
based on Errol
Flint,
Flynn.
meaning. In like Flint is an expression that means to be successful or achieve a goal with ease, especially through smooth talking or charm. It's in like Flint.
There's no way it's in like Flint. That doesn't make any sense.
Just told you it was.
What did he get that from?
The internet.
Yeah. You don't trust the
Flynn.
internet?
Huh?
Two N's, Flynn. In Like Flynn. There is an In Like Flynn film, and there's an In Like Flint film, but this is In Like Flynn is a slang phrase. Having quickly, easy, achieved a goal or gain. In Like Flynn.
Both of them are out there. Now, here it is. Pointless poll. In like Flynn or in like Flint?
I think it's going to be, what's it called? Colloquial?
Colloquialism?
Yeah. I think it's going to be pronounced differently where I'm from.
Yeah.
If you could say that word that I just tried to say, it's in like
People
Flynn.
waste so much time on shit. This guy goes, "What?" There's a forum on this. What kind of mouth breathing asshat says "in like Flint" with a T?
Tell him Jim Dunaway. Jim Dunaway right there. Yes.
I always thought it was like in like Flint. Yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah, I've heard it both.
Yeah. To make a spark, says Krusty, Flint. But if there's a movie in like Flynn.
That's about Errol Flynn.
Then that makes sense to me.
I don't know a whole lot about Errol Flynn.
Yeah. All right.
The original Tampa Bay Buck. Rocky, you hadn't seen my headline yet.
Let's see it.
I can't show it.
No,
we debated it.
You come in here.
All right.
I think you'll like it, though.
Top of the hour, tell us about Woodhouse Day Spa LT, and then we got one more hour to go, including Rockstar's Playhouse, which is in the next segment.
We have a big weekend of college football. What you need to do is send the wife or girlfriend. If they don't like football, send them off to the Woodhouse Day Spa. Give them the gift of luxury. They've got a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. You can order that special gift online. Holidays right around the corner. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or just stop by the Summit Shopping Centers. Tell Stuart and Casey the next round sent you.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The next round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
As summer starts to fade, get ready to welcome the arrival of fall. But hey, it's not just football season making an entrance. In the world of pest, it's fall invader season. Hold on tight because we've got 4 major troublemakers stepping into the spotlight. Box elder bugs, kudzu bugs, ladybugs, and stink bugs. These pests don't just knock, they barge in like they own the place. But fear not, dial up Wayne's Pest Control now, 865-588-6686, and let's show those fall invaders who's boss. Don't let pests crash your party. Take charge today.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
LT's and Brownie and I are ready for this final segment. We'll give you our picks, our pick 3 coming up in the final segment. LT's got trash in the next segment. Rockstar has the playhouse in this segment. Before Brownie tells you about my bookie, I wish I'd have grown up and been a owner of a fuel company. I wish
you're a land baron now.
I wish I'd have been a fuel company owner.
Yeah, you think that's good money or something?
I wish my last name was Exxon.
Jimmy Exxon.
Well, you would have had an issue a few years ago, right?
Yeah, but hey, they ain't hurting. That was not a blip on the radar, by the way.
Lance ruined the golf.
Hey, nobody cares, apparently. 2022 profits. I just saw this week. $56 billion. That's not how much they spent or brought in and had to pay out. That was their profit in 2022.
Yeah.
$56 billion, Exxon. And that only comes up because they've spent like billions of dollars this week to buy basically part of the United States. They have bought all the land known as the Permian Basin from West Texas into parts of New Mexico. It's the richest part of the 48, the richest part of underground oil. Exxon now owns it. They just bought this.
I was talking to one of our clients a couple of days ago, and he spends over $3,000 in fuel a month. And he's like, it's just one of those costs. I really don't even think about it. And I get beat up about some things you have to pay for and the price you pay. Now, when fuel jumps up like it did, a couple of years ago, then it's really bad. But it's just one of those things I really don't even think about anymore. So they can charge really what they want because there ain't nothing you can do about it.
1976, when the Buccaneers started, throwback, they were asking questions of my Bucks, the current players, what prices were. 56 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
In 1976.
Do you guys remember, there was a movie called Gas in the 70s, and I forgot what it was about, but I think gas was such a shortage, you would have people in the 70s lined up, for a mile waiting to get gas.
During the hostage situation in Iraq.
Yeah, so that was 1980, right?
Yeah, right at the end of the Carter administration.
But during the entire Carter administration, it was problems in the Middle East and other places. And
what was it?
You think our finances were bad now, man?
Yeah,
what were the interest rates, like 16?
18%, I think, on a house.
You actually had odd even days that you.
That's what I was going to ask. How did they determine that? Was it your last name? Or your license plate number?
I think
or
it was our license plate. Now, I cannot remember. I was not old enough to drive when it was happening, but you were either an odd or even day, and you could only get gas on every other day if you needed it. And it still had lines.
So that was just to avoid a run on the gas stations because you're pumping the same amount of gas, but they just didn't want to run on one day.
Yeah, and I don't think you could use I think they even stopped banning you bringing extra stuff. Like you could only fill up your car or truck.
Right.
I remember a place I worked with, they gave free gas away, and I don't know if it was a gallon or 5 gallons. You're talking about a mess.
Yeah.
That was back in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember radio stations used to do
Herb did.
94 cents or
back when I was first on Jocks, when I first worked for Jocks, Herb was doing a remote. I don't know why Herb was doing a remote from a gas station, but Herb was doing his show. Herb and Ben or Ray, I don't know. I think it was Ben. This is very early.
Have you guys ever done one from a gas station?
Not that I can remember.
We've done the tire changing place.
Yeah, we did a tire changing place.
Yeah.
Not Vulcan.
Did a shoe place once where the guy that was fixing the shoes actually sat between Brown and me.
Was that Cobblestone?
Yeah.
Was it Eric? Eric Pohl.
I don't remember names.
Yeah.
Old client of mine.
Nice people. I enjoyed them.
Did a great job of rewebbing baseball gloves.
No, but Herb and Herb talked him in. This is when gas prices had shot up. There was some conflict in the Middle East, of course, and gas prices had shot up. And Herb talked him into, for 1 hour, selling gas for 69 cents a gallon for AM 690.
Herb could sell, man.
Hey, and literally, Hoover police had to ask them to shut it down.
Yeah.
The gas station was in Hoover, but it got so wild.
Yeah, of course Herb was in on this.
I know, it got so wild that Hoover police asked him to shut it down.
Oh, shoot. It's Herb. All right. Show being brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag. Brownie.
You caught me in a swig there, Jimmy D.
I teased you before we started the conversation on gas. Sure, I'll take a beer, LT.
Sorry, Jim. Do you want a beer? MyBookie.ag, Jimmy D. MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round is where you sign on. And when you sign on with Code Next Round, you make that initial deposit. They are going to bonus it 110%. That is 110%. Folks, that's what we like to call in the business free money. They're giving you free money to play at MyBookie.ag, 110%. So you would say, well, I've heard about this now. These places, they give you that bonus and that free money, and I got to win like 5 times with it before it actually is in my account. No, sir, not there at mybookie.ag. It's in your account. You win once, it is yours forever. All you got to do is play it that one time, win with it, and it is yours forever. All the games, every single thing, right there in mybookie.ag. You will occasionally hear one of these two clowns say, Brownie, what's the line on that Missouri-Kentucky game? And I'm able to look at mybookie.ag. You can play them all right there and use code NEXTROUND when you sign on at mybookie.ag for that sign-on bonus of 110%. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. mybookie.ag, code Next Round.
All right. It's just past 11 o'clock in the studio, so we've got the beers out. Thanks to our friends at Bud Light, Adams Beverage. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. A little college football before we get to Rockstar's Playhouse, but I'll ask on the air, Rockstar, is it live or tape coming up here in a minute?
We are going to review a new show that we've been doing. We're going to promote a new show we've been
Promote
trying.
a show?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So it's going to be a little short today. Okay. So just to put that in the back of your head.
Hey, what did you think of the headline?
It was one of the best. It's a good thing you didn't show it.
Okay, so Rockstar votes against it.
Yes, I would be a vote no.
And Rockstar's a little more risque than you two typically.
Yeah.
Dunaway said go, which is the craziest thing.
I think I was playing a character because y'all were assuming that I would say no.
Yeah.
You were yellow light.
Yeah, I was yellow light.
Everybody in the back saying no.
Yeah, Scott was thumbs down. Thought it was funny, but was thumbs down on it, yeah.
Speaking of, thumbs down, Xavier Worthy, wide receiver, Texas. Forrester found this for us. Remember, we don't have it? All right, Forrester found this for us, but it was just a text between me and Forrester.
Found it, but I dropped it.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend?
Xavier Worthy responded to, remember them wearing the T-shirts, the Oklahoma players wearing the T-shirt? Xavier Worthy said, they act like they just won the freaking Super Bowl.
That's the biggest compliment they could pay to you, but, I mean, you guys lost the game, Xavier.
Yeah, and that's what I would say. Hey, what have you ever won?
Yeah, I mean.
Look back, you probably won 4 high school state championships, but
I mean, I have no problem with them celebrating it.
Boy, he dropped the MFer. I like it.
Yes.
You would think the MFs just won the Natty.
Yeah.
From Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, the shirt, if you haven't seen it, says Oklahoma only fears God, Texas fears Oklahoma. I think it is a very old saying. I think this goes back to the Switzer era.
That really doesn't affect Texas' season. I talked to our buddy Chip Brown yesterday, and I was like, you didn't want to lose this game, obviously. You didn't want to lose this early, but as long as they went out, they are 100% in.
Well, and especially with, I didn't think West Virginia was going to hang in there, but with West Virginia losing last night, Dunaway, that is one less conference team potentially you're going to have to worry about there, right? I mean, they are now 2-1 in the conference, so if they drop another one, Iowa State's 2-1. You got to think they're going to drop another one. Texas Tech's 2. I mean, all these one-loss teams, they're going to lose more games. If I'm
Texas Tech, Kansas State losers going to be out this weekend.
That's right.
And it's going to come down to Oklahoma and Texas again.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm Texas, I'm getting them again.
I don't know who can get Texas on the schedule outside of TCU, who's not good. No. But for whatever reason, that's their kryptonite.
Oklahoma's writing receipts, writing checks. They're going to have to cash later on.
You're 100% going to have to pay Texas. Like this year, if Alabama beats LSU or vice versa, they can crow all they want. There's no chance they're meeting again.
Yeah.
You're going to have to play Oklahoma. Texas. Oklahoma's got to play Texas again.
I think the more interesting question is, can Oklahoma close the deal undefeated in the regular season? I don't think they can.
Champy's Chicken bringing you this hour, champyschicken.com. champyschicken.com, the menu. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go down and take a gander at the menu that Sterling has put together for you. Wonderful Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Also the Southern Fried Chicken cooked to order. I'm a big two-breast guy and the great sides there. He brines it overnight, cooks it to order, comes out piping hot, so juicy. Hand-cut chicken fingers, which is fantastic for the tailgate situation. It is Champy's Chicken, Highway 119, ready for you this weekend. Swing by there, order ahead if you'd like. Use the easy pickup window if you'd like. Champy's Chicken, Sterling and the crew down there. We just have one steak bet for the weekend, right? Iowa plus 10. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I got Iowa 10. You got Wisconsin giving me 10. Maybe we'll get another one coming up before the show is over with.
I do want to bring this up. 13 plays tomorrow.
13
We've already
huh?
got them out right now. I don't know if they're posted yet. We probably will wait to post because a couple of things could happen. But I've got a 5-unit play again tomorrow.
A 5-unit?
Oh.
Yeah. I think I
Okay,
won't say it. I am not going to say it, but I think I know the game.
Okay, how about if we just pick and you don't give us the answer?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to leave it out of my pick 3.
Oh, because you don't want to give it away?
Yep.
I'm going to just draw a little arrow on the team that's your 5-unit play.
It is not. I have a 3-unit on that, though.
Okay, so that's a 3-unit.
Yeah,
right?
that is my second biggest play of the day. So close, Brown.
Yeah.
I've got 2 3-units.
I think it's that one. Arrow up here.
It is not. I do have that game, but that's just a 2-unit play.
2-unit play.
Yeah, we got a lot of action tomorrow.
Boy.
Got a 2-unit up tonight.
We got some units out there,
Yeah,
baby.
Tulane, Memphis. Jump on board.
So on Saturday, LancesLock.com. You can jump on board any day, LancesLock.com. You've got a 5-unit and 2 3-units, right?
5, 8, 10, 12, 14, 19, 21, 24, 25, 26. Lunsford's going to die if I go 0 for 13 because we're going to be down 26 units and our football season is collapsed. Which one?
One right under the last one I gave you.
That's a big play, but it's not it.
Wow. We're at least
Why don't you just tell me that?
LancesLock.com.
Yep.
LancesLock.com. All right, today it is time for Rockstar's Playhouse. I think I know the show, but I'll let him introduce it. But it's always brought to you by Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City, respected roofing contractor. We've talked to Greg for years and years. This company's locally owned for over 20 years. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Insurance companies trust him. You should too. Does a lot of great work. If you want a new roof, he'll do that for you. He'll fix storm damage. But the entry point is just get the roof inspected by him. 205-542-3531, 542-3531, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. What's the setup, Rockstar? What do you need to tell me, man?
So number 12 and John Lunsford came up with this concept called My Team Sucks.
Uh-huh. It's a playoff My Team Sucks.
Yeah, so it's every week, every Monday, based on the weekend's games, we have a team. I develop a character that is a follower of that team. And we create a personality on him and give him a little voice, and we do some pictures and everything, and we do a little thing called My Team Socks. And this was Texas A&M's version of his the defeat that happened this past weekend.
Yeah,
should I be concerned about the spinning wheel?
No, I don't think it's going to play.
No, it'll play.
Okay.
Oh, it'll play. All right.
Looks like my Spectrum
My
internet.
name is Bo Cooter Hurley, and I am a Texas A&M fan. You may have heard my podcast, Agonizing Losses. And boy, did I have a good episode this weekend. Listen, all we have been done told is that this team was destined for the playoffs this year. But somehow we done got 2 losses already. You mean to tell me that we lost to that crystal ball guy who don't even know how to Kaepernick? I'm sorry that I'm so hyped up. I have drunk 3 Baja Blasts in the past hour. It just pisses me right the hell off that on the same day them Longhorns and the sarcastic fella lost to them Oklahomos. Look, I'm just so damn tired of Jimbo's antiques. It makes my blood boil to see him arriving on campus every day. It's time to move on and get to the next chapter of Aggie football. I ain't much of a reader, but this chapter sucks ass. Have you ever been so worried about going to your job and knowing your coworkers is going to be scat talking about your passion? It's all because of you, Jimbo. You sumbitch. My name is Bo Cooter Hurley, and I am officially done with the Aggies. Until this weekend. And of course, my team sucks! I'm gonna go get with my girlfriend. Nope, okay.
So odd.
So you guys do puppet shows up here?
My team sucks!
Yeah, we do puppet shows.
I like that.
So Alexander Shannara looks like Steve Sarkisian?
He does to me.
I mean, if you were like,
they could be
it's
cousins.
Alexander's younger cousin, yeah, I could
be
see
cousins.
Scat talking, says Bobby. He's laughing at that.
I hate when people scat talk, especially at work over your passion.
Is scat talking, is that like something they used to do? There's a music genre with scat talking?
Well, you see bear stuff in the woods. It's called bear scat. It's a cleaner version.
I get it.
A more
I get it.
sophisticated version of shat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
NH3425 says this needs to be a weekly thing. Rockstar turns out.
It is a weekly thing, guys. Every Monday we do this on the
Well, pull up
Disrupt
another
the Media.
one. Can you pull up another one?
Oh, you just
Sure.
want to play another one?
Yeah, pull up one more.
Close it out. Let me get this guy.
Yeah, I mean that was one. That was a sampling. I'd like to see
Okay.
another one. Anyone
yeah,
from
you-
any week. We can set the game. It's obviously from a team that lost, I assume.
Dunaway wants it to be funny, though, right?
Yeah, make a funny one. Yeah.
Pick whichever one you think's the best one so far. I think it's at Disrupt the Media.
No.
Nope. Is that next round? The
Yeah,
media?
there you
wow.
go. It's the next round of the media.
Funny how that gets the next round one there.
geez.
Yeah,
Here
I like
we go.
that. What is this one? Is this after is that LSU?
This is LSU,
Uh-huh.
and I can't remember, so I'm gonna watch it with you guys.
Okay, so you don't even remember what you did.
All right. This is
It's every week, man.
LSU. My team sucks.
Yep.
Are you ready? Hello, my name is Ed, Ned Oregon, and I'm here. I'm an LSU Bengal Tiger football fan. I need to borrow your ears for a moment to talk about my Tigers. I'm very disappointed in the way Coach Byron Kelly has led these men to a couple of defeats early in this season. I was so upset after the game that I had to just take a walk on the street to clear my head of all them missed tackles. That's when I got hit with one of those epiphanies. All they need to do is get them a trustworthy, once-in-a-lifetime quarterback, someone who can carry that team and staff to a trophy at the end of the Tiger cage. It's really that simple. Hell, I bet someone like me could coach a team like that. It was at that time I realized that I had walked for something like 3 hours. I ended up at an abandoned Quincy's restaurant. It made me think of them yummy buttery yeast rolls. Then I got even more depressed because I didn't have a yeast roll. I had to have my ex-wife pick me up and take me home, thus ending one of my worst nights of my life. My Tigers lost, I was lost and hungry, and I was riding with the woman who tampered with my CPAP. My name is Ned Oregon, and my team sucks.
I love we still got confetti back there.
There's a lot of stuff back there.
I always like Ed Orgeron, man.
God's got to kill your voice.
That was Ned.
Ned Oregon.
Ned.
Yeah, my team sucks.
I tell you what else I loved was Quincy's.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
So My Team Socks available where you get this program right there, the next round on YouTube. So it is there every week.
Yeah,
usually after a losing team.
Yeah, always after a losing team.
I'm selling it, guys. I know you've been doing it. I mean, Lunsford and Tyler are looking at me like, Jim, you didn't know we did this? I watch you guys do it every week.
We have to clear out the studio for you idiots to do it.
I'm acting. I'm selling it.
Hopefully we won't do one Monday involving the clips because you won't be able to watch it.
Yeah. Hey, it could be a good bit, though. It could be a good bit. LT has got trash when we come back. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill today. Tell us about our friends at Hemp Hill and the heating and cooling winners, the champions of that.
Yeah, great deal right now from our friends at Hemp Hill for the month of October. 0% for 60 months for qualified customers, plus that free Wi-Fi upgrade, 10-year labor warranty on any system replacement. If you need a fall tune-up, it's only $69. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services today. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Subscribe and set alerts at Disrupt the Media on YouTube.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. And don't forget about that 29-degree man-sized drafts. It's Twin Peaks at the Patton Creek Shopping Centers.
The extra hours of sunshine are back on the clock, and that means it's time for golf at Timberline, a short drive from Birmingham or Montgomery. Go to timberlinegc.com, timberlinegc.com to book your tee times, schedule a lesson, or just drop by and use the TrackMan technology on the driving range. The course is always fun, in great shape, and you can even become a member. Get all the details at timberlinegc.com. It's time to get your golf on with our friends at Timberline. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and our entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
It's college football time in Alabama. This is Congressman Robert Adderholt. I grew up an Alabama fan, Roll Tide, but my wife, Caroline, grew up an Auburn fan, War Eagle. But no matter who you pull for, whether it's the Lions of the University of North Alabama or the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State or any other school in between, I want to wish all the players, the coaches, and especially the fans another great college football season here in Alabama. I'm Robert Adderholt, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Adderholt for Congress.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Back with you on the next round as we get ready for trash here. This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Pick that up, tailgate, if you're ready to watch the games tomorrow. He's open. Get there at 11 o'clock, get home, watch those early games, have the great fried chicken, hand-cut chicken fingers. Or it's great to take to your tailgate to Tuscaloosa. Go ahead and order it with Sterling right now at champyschicken.com, world-famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. All right, you guys are getting ready for a big weekend. I heard you guys talking about that. Other than Oregon, Washington, and I'll take USC Notre Dame off the table for you because I know you're a big USC fan. What game are you most looking forward to? Oregon, Washington for everybody.
I mean, I'm excited about A&M and Tennessee. I don't know why. I'm excited about Auburn, LSU.
I think you're excited about A&M and Tennessee because if Tennessee wins this football game,
it sets up a pretty big game in Tuscaloosa next week.
But it also continues a pretty serious situation for Jimbo Fisher, something you've been talking about for a few years now.
Yeah, look, and for the record, I don't know Jimbo personally. I don't want him to get fired. I just don't think with the money he's being paid, he's earning it. I think Texas A&M fans, I feel your frustration. and this program should be better. And that's where I stand on that. So I don't necessarily want them to lose games, but I just can't imagine if Texas A&M gets the right guy into that job, watch out.
I think A&M Tennessee is interesting because it is, again, to your point, Dunaway, any loss he takes from here on, it's only going to intensify that talk.
Especially if they stack them up.
That's right. If they start to, week after week, it's just going to be bad. But I think for Heupel, too, if you have any designs on getting to Atlanta in year 2, this is a must-win. I mean, you can't afford to take another conference loss because there's no way Georgia's going to lose 2 conference
Still
games.
hard to believe they lost to Florida.
I agree, and I don't think that's who they are, but I do think they've got their hands full on this one. Auburn LSU always seems to have some sort of entertainment to it. I don't know what it is. Rarely do you watch an Auburn LSU game where you're like, well, that sucked. That's just a terrible game. There's always something crazy that happens in it. Buildings have burned. Plays have been run with almost no time on the clock and with no time on the clock.
Earthquakes have happened.
I mean, it's just wild, wild games. And Baton Rouge is just a wild place to play. One of the most entertaining games the last few years is that Bo Nix, he gets the starting job back at LSU and goes wild in that game. That was a nuts game.
Backyard Bo debut.
Yeah. I'll tell you another one. Miami at North Carolina, I think, will be an entertaining game. I'm interested to see how the Canes bounce back after that.
Take a knee, and that game will be so big.
But I think that adds to
where are they going to be?
The intrigue. Yeah, the intrigue of it. And North Carolina now getting Tez Walker more and more in the mix. That's an interesting game head-to-head with USC Notre Dame.
I doubt any of you will watch it. I doubt I'll watch it. 5:30 on CW. Louisville, can they handle success now? Everybody's talking about them on the road against a very bad Pitt team. I think they're 2-4, maybe.
Pitt is bad.
But Narduzzi can yuck it up, man.
When the slide started? It was NIL and transfer portal for Narduzzi.
When he started
Addison? When he started bitching about Addison, too. Yeah.
But when he started losing players and, behind the scenes, heard their collective is awful.
Well, I think you see now why he was so upset about the Addison deal, right? Initially, you just thought he was upset because USC outbid him. I think what Lance is saying now is he knew this was a sign of things to come for him, that Pitt was not going to have the NIL structure required like Trent Dilfer was talking about yesterday.
And he's making really good money. Now, you wonder, he's a good coach. If Michigan State came back, a former defense coordinator under Mark D'Antonio, and they still really respect D'Antonio.
And so much so he's the interim coach, basically.
Yeah, they respect his opinion. So if he was like, Narduzzi should be the guy, if I'm Narduzzi, I am running.
That's right. I was going to bring that up because if I was Michigan State doing the hiring, I would ask D'Antonio, you've done this. Who should we get? And he'll go back to his defensive coordinator during a lot of those years and bring Pat Narduzzi back. And then he's got some NIL money.
And then if you're Pitt, I don't know who wants that job.
Not a great job.
The conference is kind of questionable moving forward.
I never
the venue's awful.
I never like coaching a team plays in a pro stadium.
Yeah,
I think 9 times out of 10 that is a bad job when you have to coach a team that plays in a pro stadium.
Even USF is building an on-campus stadium because it's not good for them.
The one exception was being the Miami coach. Well, I shouldn't say the one exception. One of the main exceptions was being the Miami coach back in the day. People were lined up to get that job after Schnellenberg. Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson. In that group, and they were obviously playing at the Orange Bowl, a pro stadium, and still play at Hard Rock today. Past that, name me programs that had any consistent success after playing a pro stadium.
Truthfully, that was the college stadium, the Orange Bowl, that became an NFL stadium, in my opinion.
I guess so, because the bowl game predated the Dolphins, is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
I used to love that venue when I was a kid. I still have a Iron Bowl-inspired artwork on my wall down in my sports room, or Orange Bowl, inspired art on my wall.
From that era.
I just loved watching Dolphins games in the Orange Bowl. It just seemed like...
Even I did.
It just seemed like
especially in the winter time when it was cold.
When I was a kid, the Orange Bowl was such a magical place because I watched Dolphins games, and then the actual Orange Bowl was always so good.
Yep.
And they had that halftime show. As a kid, they had that big-time halftime show.
Remember seeing still shots of Baumhauer and that Killer Bee defense, and they're all wearing white, and they're all just dirty as hell.
Yeah, because... it's South Florida.
Right.
So the ground seemed to always be moist, even if it hadn't rained in a while, because when it did rain, it rained a bucket really quick.
It always wore those whites to take about 10 degrees away.
That's right. Still do it to this day, by the way.
Yeah.
And even though they're standing in the shade when everybody else standing in the sun.
And when it was cold here in the trailer park in November and December and January, you're watching them, and it's sunny, and there's palm trees, and you're like, That's paradise, man.
Yeah.
Hey, how
That's
beautiful
paradise.
is? I know you can see trees, which is a negative, but right now on Fox or ESPN, Pat McAfee is interviewing Kalen DeBoer.
Yep.
And that is just a beautiful setting.
Gorgeous setting.
We cannot, for some reason, get our lighting like that. But sometimes if you got the sun backlighting and you've got the view in the back, but Forrester refuses to go on the road with us and teach us how to light that shot. How many lights are they having to pour on McAfee and them there to get that that light up?
I mean, it's 9:30 in the morning out there.
I think if you'll ask Forrester, you said for some reason, the reason is a $sign with a comma.
Yeah. There's how many lights, I wonder, is on that thing?
How much, guess, Scott, how much did it cost to light that shot?
I'm not looking at the shot, but I would imagine $10,000.
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah.
All right. $10,000.
$10,000.
Well, you get a hint of Seattle in the background.
So we do outside shows. We're going to pay $10,000.
Yeah. It's the sun is the backlight and a lot of other lights and a big expensive camera on the front side.
I cannot wait to see that game. And, Brock Heward explains why it was a shaky cam game when it was in Husky Stadium.
Oh, really?
On Unlocked.
Okay. I'd like to hear that because I used to love that about Husky Stadium.
He explains the whole thing, why we saw the shaky camera.
Unlocked. There you go. I bet it's a conspiracy theory. Go listen to Unlocked and find out why the camera used to shake. Now it's time for trash. But before we get to trash, tell us about the great folks. I'll tell you what. I'll tell them about it. Tell us about mortgage right after Rockstar hits the button.
Do y'all usually start before 8 o'clock with a chainsaw?
What time is it, sir?
What time is it, sir? Well, it's after 8 now. You guys started firing it up at 7:55.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
I was going to be a total dick and try to get our boy Jeremy Harbin and his crew to start up it. But that would affect the other neighbors. So
That's right. That is an audio middle finger right there when that got fired up.
It was funny.
It was.
Buying a home, major milestone in life. Getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right, who do mortgages the right way. Locally owned and operated, Mortgage Right, standing by to help you today. Visit their locations, Highway 280 in Birmingham, Parkway Drive in Leeds. You can apply, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. We start first. This is such a crazy ass story, by the way.
Oh boy.
Group of Hardee's employees, along with others, have been charged after police uncovered a scheme in which money taken from customers' credit cards were used to bail out jail inmates.
How about that?
Wow.
It's like a Robin Hood for criminals.
County Captain Andrew Hahn, along with other members of the jail administration, noticed, quote, suspicious irregularities of funds on some inmates' accounts. Police say large sums of money were being placed onto the inmates' communication system. Accounts from a source outside of the jail. Police said the same inmates were bonding out of jail almost immediately and leaving with the remaining balance on a jail-issued debit card. Now, this is when police started to investigate. They uncovered a complex fraudulent scheme involving certain employees of the Hardee's fast food restaurant in Michigan City. Police said that in August and September, a few Hardee's employees photographed credit card, debit card numbers of customers that purchased food at the drive-thru window. Card numbers were then used by placing money onto the accounts of inmates with low bond amounts. The investigation uncovered a total of $14,700 in fraudulent charges. Victims who originally went to purchase food at the drive-thru of Hardee's are working with financial institutions to have their funds returned to them.
Does that not look like the worst Brady Bunch episode ever?
It does. Or Hollywood Squares. What's going on bottom center right there? What we got there? You
Hold
think,
it, Brett.
Lester?
She got arrested for robbing a beehive, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or she's like, I am going to hold my breath
That's
until you make me stop taking these mugshots.
I tell you, I quit.
Pictures for what?
I quit using debit card a little while ago for this very reason. It's just too easy.
Yeah,
the criminals have gotten too smart.
You know, we deal with Amex up here at Disrupt, and they are the absolute best. Like, they're not going to hold you to it. If you have a fraudulent charge, they're going to wipe that thing almost immediately.
That's why I quit using a debit card, because once you have to do it with a bank, all of that with a bank, it ain't easy. Let me tell you, I've had to do it, and credit card is so much easier. So I am straight credit card. I don't even carry a debit card anymore.
D.C. police arrested a 19-year-old for allegedly carjacking his Uber driver after getting into an argument over his dog.
So wait a second. The Uber driver got carjacked by one of his passengers?
Detectives say Dax Franco of Washington, D.C. assaulted the driver before stealing her car when he refused to allow his dog in the vehicle. He is charged with unarmed carjacking and robbery. Now, I think there is an Uber app in larger cities where you can actually have your pet ride with you.
Like it just says it's dog friendly or whatever.
Yeah. This was October 8th. Police say the rideshare driver picked up the accused carjacker when the carjacker attempted to bring his dog into the rideshare driver's vehicle. She told him the dog was not allowed. This is when he threatened to spray her with mace. During an argument, investigators say then assaulted the rideshare driver, reportedly dragged her from the car, stole her phone, fled the scene in a stolen vehicle. I'm going to say he's got bigger issues than just taking his dog around.
I may have overreacted.
Yeah. I mean, if he's got mace, then he's armed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely assault.
Yeah, to me, I mean, it said unarmed carjacking. To me, it doesn't have to be a gun to be armed in my book. If I was ever on the jury, but as I know, and we always talk about, I do not judge people.
That's right.
Yep.
It's against your religion.
Yeah, in a legal situation.
Elementary school in Iowa.
He wants to leave the door open to be judgmental. It's just not a legal situation.
Well, I judge you behind your back all the time. Like, there's no way I'd wear those shoes with those pants. Wow.
Elementary school in Iowa is switching from its usual Halloween-themed events to fall-themed festivities for the best interest of students, according to the school district.
Why?
Now, in a statement to KCCI, they addressed the decision. Quote, the district has replaced Halloween with fall-themed parties. All decisions we make are in the best interest of students while considering instructional time, attendance, families having the financial means to participate, and being inclusive to those from all backgrounds.
Oh, now, we did a fall festival at Thompson Elementary School, and we called it a fall festival, but it was around Halloween. We had hay rides, and this sounds like I'm on the Waltons, but we bobbed for apples, and there was cake walks and that kind of thing.
I remember the cake walk.
Cake walks, such a boring thing.
It really was.
Yeah.
Boy, people loved it.
They did.
You know, and I kind of... I mean, that would suck if your kid couldn't dress up because of financial means.
But I was going to say, there was a form that your parents could fill out if you could not afford the price to get in, and the price to get in came with some tickets for, to walk through the haunted classroom.
Bob for apples.
Yeah, to whatever. And they would get a certain number of tickets to experience those things. So they had a way to do it. So even if you could not afford it.
I'm going to date us because I think it was relatively inexpensive to dress up when we were kids, because you could go to Kmart and you could get a pre-boxed Spider-Man.
That's right.
$4.95. With that plastic mask
with the rubber band.
So I think almost everybody, it was affordable back then. I don't go to Spirit Halloween, so I don't know how affordable costumes are. I'll tell you, when we dress up, shit's expensive.
Yeah. I would tell you that
mine's adding up.
Yeah, my tattoo starter kit from Tupac was over $100, I think.
I went as a ghost one time as a kid with just a sheet that was part of our normal bedding in the trailer.
Yeah, that's a poor man's costume right there. But you cut those eyes out, about Jimmy Senior beat you.
No, I bet that sheet wasn't done on the bed either, even with the eyes cut out. You used it again.
Wasn't even a white sheet. It was like it had piss stain. It had a little floral design on it.
He's a ghost.
And I think it was fitted. I think it was a fitted sheet too.
You kept tripping over
it. It was all bonded up on the side.
Florida woman facing felony charge after allegedly shoving a bag of dog shit into the face of an elderly neighbor.
Oh, she wouldn't do that. Look at those lips.
Just wants to give you a kiss, Lance.
Callie Robertson, 28, arrested Sunday morning after a confrontation at the mobile home park where she and 76-year-old victim live in separate residences.
I've never noticed puckered lips looking like other body parts.
A batole?
According to a complaint charging Robertson seen right there with battery on a victim 65 years or older, she became upset with Daniel Powell, who, quote, would always speak with her while she walked her dog. Now, Robertson, cops say, took an unsecured bag of dog shit, pushed it into Powell's face, leaving feces smeared on his face and the bag on the ground.
Is that unsecured? Is that unsecured?
That is awful.
She was arrested, charged with third-degree felony.
How? Why is it only third degree?
I don't know.
That could be worse.
Am I gonna get charged if I swing back and knock the crap out of her?
Nope. I wouldn't think so.
Well, is it? Is third degree worse than first degree? I thought
No,
Is
first
it-
degree's the worst.
Yeah,
First degree's worse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Third degree's an entry
I didn't know
point.
if it was like DEFCON, because DEFCON 1 is the worst.
So we've got a game of who is this celebrity wax figure. Rocky's got
you guys
these
ever
for
been to
us.
a wax museum?
Yes, I have actually, Rockstar.
Is there one in Gatlinburg?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I've
Right
been
next to the Pancake House.
I've been to the one in Gatlinburg.
So
one of Lance's greatest lines of all time. First time, Lance didn't go to Gatlinburg till you were how old?
I mean, it was 2 years ago.
2 years
so
ago.
old.
So into his 40s, Lance never had gone to Gatlinburg. And I had to call him about something. I said, you having fun? And he's like, yeah. He goes, the crazy thing here is there's not one single restaurant that doesn't have pancake in the name.
Well, that, and if you want to find a vegetable, you don't go to Gatlinburg. You ain't finding a vegetable. This one's
easy.
relatively easy. Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, Jennifer
So we're
Aniston.
going to go back and forth, but these are supposed to be professionals, by
Yeah,
the way.
I mean,
That's spot on.
far
Jennifer Aniston.
far from identical to Jennifer Aniston, but I at least know it's her. Yes.
Yeah, go by the hair. Oh, that is
Beyonce. I see the name tag.
Yeah, let's go.
2015 vision, by the way.
Well, we need some skill.
Beyonce's black. If I don't,
Yeah, we need to get
It looks like
everything correct.
a skinny Mariah Carey.
that's Beyonce. Are
Well,
you
and
serious?
it looks like one of the chicks that used to be on The Hills or one of those shows. I forgot what
Yeah,
her name
Lauren
was.
Conrad.
Yeah.
No, or Heidi something. Montag.
I was
Yes,
ge-
Heidi
yeah.
and Spencer.
Actually, it looked like Marie Martin, our friend with Channel
A little
11
bit,
in
yeah.
Atlanta,
You're
covering the
abs-
games.
you're Absolutely right. Hey, by the way, it's so bad they had to put a name tag.
Oh,
on
no,
it.
this is not JT,
That's-
is it?
No, that's Justin Bieber.
That is Justin
That
Bieber.
is Justin Bieber.
Well, he's got a little gloss on him.
He does.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Is that
Bruce Jenner.
It is Bruce Jenner.
No, I've just totally forgotten who that was. That's so bad.
No.
You're not right. It's not Bruce Jenner.
Sophia Loren?
Nope. That is Monica Lewinsky. I see the stain on the dress.
It was a blue.
Hey, that's that man's dehydrated.
All right, there we go. Celine Dion.
That is Celine Dion. It looks like a man.
Wow.
It looks like Morgan Fairchild, but that is Celine Dion.
She jumped off the
It is Morgan
Titanic.
Fairchild. That is
Yeah,
good.
if she had blonde hair, yeah.
How many shades of color you want on her face? 5. We're good.
That is nowhere close.
That's not
Hamilton.
Wayne Newton?
No, Hamilton. What was the guy's name that was
George
always in
Hamilton.
George Hamilton.
Yeah, but he had gray hair.
Well, I don't know if you noticed Beyonce was white, so I don't think they're.
Hey, that's not Muhammad Ali, is
I was
it?
going to say that, but this, I'll give you a hint, 007.
Oh, that's
Sean
not Sean
Connery?
Connery?
Sean Connery.
I mean,
You don't think it looks like Sean Connery?
I could draw Sean Connery on our whiteboard better than that.
Muhammad Ali was such a good guess.
yeah.
It looks more like Muhammad Ali than it does Sean Connery.
does.
I mean,
100% it does.
Lindsay Lohan.
How that is Lindsay Lohan. That's what freaked me out. That looks
that's not.
nothing like her.
That's not.
She's got Ronald Acuna's chains on, though.
Yeah. What's sad is that's not even a wax figure. That is actually hers. That's the only job she can get right now.
It really looks like Lindsay Lohan's dad playing Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, that's Amy Schumer.
Gwen Stefani.
No, that is.
Oh, this is spot on, by the way. Spot on.
You think it is?
Oh yeah,
Christina Applegate.
Oh, that's Madonna.
Oh, wow.
It's closer to Amy Schumer.
Yeah, she had been that young.
Tracy
in
Lords.
50
Yeah,
years.
or Tracy Lords.
Maybe if you knew who that was.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that's Mel Gibson.
Very surprised.
I
Mel
thought
Gibson.
it was Ronald Reagan. A young Ronald Reagan.
His eyes.
Very
wow.
surprised. Mel Gibson.
Oh, that is.
Who did
Kate
it?
Blanchett? No, Kim Basinger.
Nicole Kidman.
One of y'all's right.
Kim
It's
Basinger.
Nicole Kidman.
It's Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Can we not get the hair red?
Can we not get the face right? Here's some
Holy hell.
Mr. Obama, if you could back away from the camera
My
just
God.
a little bit.
We're going to use the fisheye lens on you.
Dude, Lincoln. They carved him.
Is Bill Clinton paper mache?
JFK's a little hungover.
JFK. I mean, Reagan. Oh,
God, those
my.
are awful.
Reagan would take that.
Clinton's teeth, man. Get that man some Invisalign.
That's one of my, this is one of my, I think this is the last one. No, I got maybe one more.
Oh, this is the guy that owns everything. He is
Bill Gates?
No, the guy that owns everything
Elon
in
Musk?
entertainment. No, in entertainment. Used to be on American Idol.
Ryan Seacrest?
Ryan Seacrest.
That is not right.
I would say that is.
That's closer to Justin Bieber than Justin Bieber was.
Oh.
I have no idea on this one, right?
Yeah, I don't know either.
That's Prince William, guys.
Oh,
How did you
come
not
on.
see that?
Now, which one is he? Is he the one that
He's the
is
one that's
still a
married to
prince? Oh, he's the one that just wants to disappear?
He's bald now.
Yeah, I was about to say. So this is the one that's still a prince.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, he ain't got near that much hair.
Seinfeld.
Oh, Seinfeld. That's actually not bad, except for Jerry.
Oh, I don't think Elaine looks very much like
Elaine looks awful, and it looks like Costanza's face is two faces, like one guy's standing behind him slightly.
Well, look at Jerry. It looks like he got put in a vice.
Yeah, what is going on with Jerry?
Must have been hot in the wax museum that day.
Rockstar, that is awful.
Beckham and Victoria.
Yeah, that's right. The Victoria and
Yeah,
David
Posh
Beckham.
Spice.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
This is crazy. Does that look anything to Justin Timberlake to you guys?
Not really.
Okay.
Is that who it is?
That's who that is.
Yeah.
And Dunaway's pretty good at this.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Tyra Banks?
I don't know about the skin color anymore, but Tyra Banks is a great guess.
That is Naomi Campbell.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Supermodel.
That's it. That's the last one. I just
God,
thought that
those
was
are
interesting that
awful.
you're going to a museum and this is what you see.
I love that. I love that. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, buying a home, major milestone in life, getting it right comes under the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right. Call them today, 205-815-9200 or mortgageright.com/TNR.
Yeah, and it's also time to try those loaded fries from our friends at Milo's. We're about to see a picture of the loaded fries that you get right there. You got the Mexi fries right there that has the cheese and the bacon and the jalapenos on it and the queso. Or you've got the saucy fries, which is the Milo's fries with the hamburger, 100% ground beef on it, the onions, the Milo's sauce, and of course the queso as well. It's all right there. And if you download the Milo's mobile app and use the promo code NEXTROUND, you can try those fries for free. The loaded fries are back at Milo's. So too our pick 3. We'll make our picks when we come back on TNR.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations, but we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, brombergs.com.
Birmingham, guess who is back? Our friend TJ Miller, the Gentle Giant Tour. It continues at the Comedy Club Stardome, coming up one night only, Wednesday, October 18th. Doors open at 6:15. Show goes off at 7:30. To order tickets right now, 444-0008 or stardome.com. TJ Miller, you remember him from Silicon Valley, from the Deadpool movies, one of the most sought-after comedians in the world. This Wednesday, October 18th, Comedy Club Stardome. For more information, stardome.com.
Support the show and grab some great t-shirts and hoodies right now in the Next Round store. Buy the Alabama State Map shirts in your team's favorite colors, the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest, or Next Round flag shirts are also online now. Just go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store. The traditional Next Round logo shirts are there too. Buy them for yourself, or they make a great gift for someone else. And let us know what you'd like to see in the store coming up. Nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Going to a big football game? Walking around all day? Then you'll want comfortable shoes. This is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Score a touchdown with a new pair of ultra-comfortable running or walking shoes. Come to the New Balance Birmingham store. I'm telling you, we'll make sure you have a perfect fit and we'll treat you like the starting QB. Our job is to make sure your feet are happy. Visit the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. Your feet will thank you.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about our friends at New Life Art. Daniel A. Moore has completed his original full-color oil painting honoring Bryce Young, Alabama's 4th Heisman Trophy winner. This painting depicts the memorable Heisman-worthy go-ahead pinpoint pass to John Mechie in the corner of the end zone as the Tide dismantled the vaunted Georgia defense in the SEC championship game this past year. Use code TNR for 15% off. You can order online at danielmooreart.com.
Back with you on the next round. We'll do our picks in just a second. You know that because I have my glasses on trying to dial in the win for you. Before we get to the picks, though, LT, tell us about our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
So the other night, it was Bullett's first birthday. So I went and picked up some prime fillets, had them dusted up. Just got a picture from our friend Michael Spisto. He's in there getting them dusted, too, right now. But they were on the island. I was getting everything ready, and Chili gets on the island and takes one of those fillets, and I am not kidding you, it was swallowed within 5 seconds.
They're good, man. They're good fillets. I swallow mine pretty quick, too.
Look, just a incredible place to pick up steaks for date night. Chili for the win. Ruined Bullett's birthday, by the way.
Oh, man. How selfish.
Yeah. Rare quality, well-done service. 2 locations, Cahaba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Great selection of fine wines and desserts. Stop in, one-stop dinner shop. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
All right. Football coming up this weekend. Baseball, by the way, on a little bit break today and tomorrow. American League Championship Series starts on Sunday. National League Championship Series starts on Monday. Home field advantage Astros Phillies as we go to the best of 7.
Who do you think it's going to be? I think it's Rangers Phillies.
I feel like that is it too. Rangers Phillies.
I think if I heard this right, or if I counted right, or no, I actually heard it. I didn't go.
I hope it's Rangers. I don't want to see the Astros. I really don't care in the National League. I think it will be the Phillies, and I don't know.
Am I right that the Phillies hit 11 home runs in 4 games? I mean,
I thought it was 13.
It might have been. It was
an
an excessive amount. I mean, they are smashing the ball right now.
They had 6 in one game. They had 3 more yesterday.
Yeah,
so that's 9.
They are just mashing it right now. And I don't know how they slow down. That's a tough place to play.
Well, I hope they win it now. That they
the Phillies?
The Braves out. I hope they go on and win it. I hate the Braves to lose to them and they don't finish the deal this time. I'd like to see those fans get a championship. They're good fans, and I'd like to see them experience what Braves fans and Dodgers fans have done recently.
They did in what, 07?
It's been a minute.
It's been a while. Who'd they beat? My Rays back then, right?
Yeah, they've had the Eagles recently.
Yeah. So good way to make the National League win the World Series. Get my Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series 2 times. Phillies and Dodgers has gotten us.
Rick says baseball's now won't break until April, as far as I'm concerned. Must be a Braves fan.
Hey, that's the way it used to be, starting in June for me as a Tampa Bay Rays fan until the small ball started. All right, Rockstar is going to play the song, and then LT is going to tell us about Buffalo Wild Wings. It's time to make our picks. We'll show you how much. I mean, we're doing really well in the pick 3. It's improving. We're getting better each week at the pick 3. You can go play at nextroundlive.com. Hit the song Rockstar.
Pick 3, it's time for the pick 3. 3 for you and 3 for me, that equals a pick 3. Say goodbye to your family, it's time for the pick 3. Only time that I'm happy is when it's time for pick 3.
Hey, all weekend long, stop in, see our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, 11 Central Alabama locations, including the new Buffalo Wild Wings Go location in Vestavia. They've got the #1 sports bar in Birmingham for over 20 years, wall-to-wall TVs, 26 sauces and seasonings, along with a full menu of great burgers, wraps, and salads. It is Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, let's take a look at the standings, a little gander at the standings. 7-11 for me. I'm open all the time right there at 7-11. Ding, ding. 8-10 for Brownie, 10-8 for LT, coming off 3-0. You are, Brown, right?
That's right. Brown Bandit was nice enough to give me a 3-0 last week because he felt bad for sabotaging me.
Couple of 2-1s for LT and I. So last week we were combined 7-2 with these pick 3s. If you just want to play these games, lanceslock.com to see if he agrees with it, or to mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. I don't know if today's the last day to get that 110% deposit bonus, but you never know.
You never know, so jump on it.
Yeah, that's not going to last forever. 110% deposit bonus with our friends at mybookie.ag. I'm in dead last. I'll go first.
Fire away, Jimmy.
I feel like sometimes I make a mistake by trying to go into games that I really don't know a whole lot about the teams, that I don't watch. I just look at some metrics, like maybe Louisiana Monroe or Western Kentucky. So I'm going to go with the teams I've been watching this year and games I feel really good about. I feel 3-0 coming on.
All right.
Give me the UCLA Bruins on the road, getting 3.5. Give me Oregon on the road. It's +3, but we take it up to 3.5. And Missouri, 2.5. They're on the road in Kentucky. Give me UCLA, Oregon, and Missouri. All mybookie.ag odds there. You like that, don't you? 3-0, LT. I can tell by your expression.
Hey, you told me I had 0-3 last week, and I went 3-0.
I think you've got one loser for sure, and the other two, I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, they're good football games, so I get to watch them. All those are good football games. So that's my plays this week with our friends right there, nextroundlive.com with the Pick 3, brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Brownie.
I am going to go with Colorado back in action on TV that you can watch this week. Colorado playing Stanford.
Dion pissed about kick time.
Yeah, he's pissed. You know why? Why? Hey, they gave us a bad kick time, guys. What kind of game is this? It's what?
They made it personal.
It's personal.
Personal.
Minus 12.5, Colorado. Dion doesn't want to kick them, but he's going to kick them then. Rutgers. Minus 5.5 as they play host to a terrible Michigan State team. And
that's a home game?
That is a home game for Rutgers. Piscataway.
That's only 2 games, Brown. Do you have a third game?
I've got a third game. Give me the Alabama Crimson Tide. Minus 19.5. Alabama about to run Arkansas out of the stadium. Nick Saban's never lost to them. Not a good Arkansas team. Alabama's going to run. Alabama's going to throw. They're going to sack K.J. Jefferson. Arkansas can't run. I mean, everything for Alabama here. Minus 19.5.
By the way,
2-hour leader.
Do you want to do a stake on that Washington, Oregon? You seem really confident in Oregon.
I do. 3 is the line at my bookie. Can we make it 3?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I'll take Oregon. And, I mean, my God, the love you have for this Washington team this year. Oof.
Texas A&M plus 3.5, better team in Knoxville. LSU minus 11.5. Think the offense is going to be too much to stop.
Go Tigers.
And SC running into a very fatigued Notre Dame team.
Best fight song in all of football right there.
Yeah, but none of those is your 5-unit play.
Nope.
5-unit play tomorrow at lanceslock.com, and you'll give a free play tomorrow.
And I'll say this, it is a nighttime game.
It is. Lance just gave me his 5-unit play. I find it very intriguing.
Do I have well, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
We had 2 5-units last week. We had one on Monday night with Vegas. We had one on Saturday with UCLA. Both winners.
Interesting.
I think you have not lost a 5-unit this year.
Well, earlier this season I did.
Did you?
I've had one 10-unit. I've had a couple of 5s that have gone down, but yeah. We're rolling on 5s right now.
Couple of things I didn't get to on the show as we wrap things up. Buffalo Wild Wings with the Pick 3. Tell them one more time about all the B-Dubs locations.
Yeah, again, there's 11 Central Alabama locations, including that new Buffalo Wild Wings Go location in Vestavia. Stop in, see our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings. 26 sauces and seasonings, along with a full menu of great burgers, wraps, and salads.
Only thing that scares me about Texas A&M LT is Miami exposed Texas A&M secondary, Alabama exposed Texas A&M secondary. I wonder if Tennessee can expose Texas A&M secondary.
I don't know if Joe Milton's good enough, and I don't know if he's going to be upright.
Well, and this is the first, keep in mind now, this is the first full game we've seen them without Brew McCoy, and that's a significant injury for that offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big weapon. Underutilized, but big weapon.
Air Force, playing for the best team in the Mountain West and maybe for the New Year's Six Bowl, 12 points per game is all they're allowing on defense, maybe the best defense out west. Wyoming's running back Harrison Whaley is questionable, doubtful, in fact, for that contest there. In that Texas A&M Tennessee game, we talked about the streaks earlier this week, 12 straight at Neyland Stadium, outright dating back to, before the Alabama win last year.
And A&M doesn't win on the road. So Lance is going against a couple trends right there. A&M just doesn't win road games very often, and Tennessee hasn't lost at home in a while.
Everything comes to an end.
It does, Lance. Every single thing, including this show. I hear it in the background.
You hear it coming in the background. Penn State, we mentioned earlier this week, 132nd in 20-plus yard plays, explosive plays. All 4 of the college football playoff teams were in the top 20 in that department last year. And Bill Connolly, going back to the start of the playoffs in 2014, said teams that win the battle during the game of most 20-yard plays, explosive plays, win the game 70% of the time.
Wow.
I want to lay the 41.5. I don't think I can do it.
You don't think you can do it?
I don't know.
Talk of champions next, Jimmy D.
Oh, talk of champions is in overtime?
That's what I was told by Scott Forrester.
I'm in that show. It is coming up. A nice conversation about Alabama coming up. Talk of champions, disrupt the media, Roll Tide Pods if you'd like to get some of that. War Damn Pods for the Auburn programming over there. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway
Welcome into the Talk of Champions. We're about to get ready for Alabama returning home to take on Arkansas after a big trip to College Station, a big win. This guy was there. He's Tyler Watts, former Alabama quarterback, now analyst on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Fun call with Chris Stewart?
Great call.
Yeah.
We had a great time at that one. Obviously, anytime Alabama wins, makes it much more enjoyable, but there was plenty of ups and downs, which as a broadcaster you love. Now, you hate the penalties, but all the plays that were made by the guys out there on the field, especially that defensive unit, made it for an extremely exciting broadcast.
Okay, you ready for a good broadcasting transition? Down 17-10 at the half. I thought it was a little hairy at the time. You know what you need if things get hairy? Our friends at Manscaped. This is you right here, by the way. This is for you. I got a parting gift. This is the handyman right here. The Manscaped for your face on the road. Just throw this into your USB port, charge it down the road. You can shave on your way to meet the clients. It's your gift there with our friends at Manscaped.
That's awesome.
Now, we've got our own promo code here. So if you'd like to support Tyler right here, Talk20 is the promo code. Talk20 is the promo code. When you go to manscaped.com, manscaped.com, you can do this for your face. They got some for your ears and nose hair.
God, I am close to getting to that age.
I'm already there. Chest hair, and as Tyler was asking earlier, some stuff, the weed whacker from below the belt. Jesus. The weed whacker. It's all with manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Talk20 is the promo code. You get 20% off with our friends at Manscaped. I'll make sure I'll give this back to you before
That's
you leave.
new, right? It's not used.
It is brand new. It's just for you. But it was 17-10 at the half. So things didn't go perfect for Alabama on this trip there. But let's start, as we did last week, with the positives. And one of the big positives was to me, play calling. I want to start with play calling because Tommy Rees and the offensive staff apparently saw something on tape on a matchup with either Burton or Bond on their DBs that they liked because they didn't go to it once. They didn't go to it twice. They went to it 12 times with Jermaine, caught 9 of them. Went to it 9 times with Bond, caught 7 of them. They saw something they liked in those matchups.
Okay, so I'm going to say that it's partly, we saw something that we could take advantage of it, as well as we need to find something else because we can't do run between the tackles. That Texas A&M front was extremely good. They were as advertised. Strong up front, linebackers got off blocks, and none of them missed tackles in the open field. Extremely solid up front. Very difficult for Alabama to run the ball between the tackles. So you had to find something. And after you poke and prod trying to find where's the weakness of this defense, and I think just after 1 or 2 receptions, you realize DeBerry can't cover any of our receivers. He's pushing off. We're creating separation. And if he sits, we're running right past him. So it was, I think, a game-time thing of we've got this. Anytime we need to go to it, we can exploit these DBs because our offensive line is holding up. We're having time to throw the ball downfield, and our wide receivers are creating separation.
Go back to the offensive line for a second because there was 6 sacks in this game. So sometimes they didn't hold up.
Break it down, though. What you also saw was him holding onto the ball because maybe coverage was good downfield. And then as he started moving around the pocket, his eyes lowered. He started focusing on the rush because most of the time it was only a 4 or 5 man rush. There was a couple of times where they brought more than we could block. That's going to happen. But mostly it was his eyes came down. He wasn't keeping his eyes downfield. And there were some guys coming open late within the 5 to 10 yard range that he just did not see.
Okay, let's get back to Burton for a second because he's a guy. He's always very animated. He's a talker. Some people do that. It juices them up. It makes them play harder. Self-motivation. This was his breakout game. This was a big game. Is Jermaine Burton a guy that maybe the light has gone off? This could be the Jermaine Burton we see the rest of the year?
It's only a breakout game if he's able to replicate it. And that is 100% up to him. What's between the ears there? Is he motivate himself now to make that the bar and the standard of how he's going to go out there and perform? He comes to Alabama because he wants more targets. He gets more targets last week. He makes the most of it. He can set the tone and the precedent on how many times the ball is thrown to him based on his effort, his ability to run routes and create separation and get open, and his attitude, quite honestly. So I think it's wholly up to him as to whether he becomes that alpha number 1A target or if he kind of rescinds back into the old Jermaine Burton that we've seen for the first 4 or 5 games this year.
About a week ago, before their last win, we heard Jamar Chase say, I guess it was a week ago Sunday, they were asking him about the slow performance, and
and Joe Burrow and the Bengals were off to a bad start, and Jamar Chase said, I'm open every play. I'm open every play. Of the receivers you've met in your life as a quarterback and an analyst, do you feel like most receivers think they're open every play?
They all think they're open, but Jamar Chase is open. Even if he's close, he's open because he's going to make a way to find them. Now, most receivers think that they are open, and quite honestly, they very well may be. The difference is they're not always in the progression. They're not always the 1, 2, or 3 target as intended when drawn up by the offensive coordinator.
So they can be open at a certain time when you're looking as a quarterback to the left. He could be open on the right, and by the time you get back to him, he's not open anymore.
Their whole role may be to clear out and open up another route coming underneath or over top or whatever to put stress on a particular guy with the intentions of throwing elsewhere. That kind of things happen. Those things happen. Coverages break down, and the guy that you're not reading may come wide open. So, yeah, it does happen. But Jermaine Burton, you know that he's coming back to the huddle saying, throw me the ball, because he's feeling it. He's confident in how he's performing that day. And when you get a hot hand like that, like in basketball or any other sport, you got to feed them. You've got to continue to throw the ball to them.
I want to ask you a receiver question first, but another one of our great sponsors here is the Watts Agency. Tyler Watts, when he's not talking Alabama football, is talking insurance with you. And if not with you yet, here's why you should switch to the Watts Agency.
You need to open up your billing. You need to take a look at it. Now, price is one thing, but we always talk about this. There's 2 price points in any transaction, especially when it comes to insurance. There's the cost of the transaction itself, how much you're paying for your insurance, and then there's a cost at the time of the accident. Are you underinsured? Do you have enough coverage to protect you and your family? You need to give us a call at 205-822-5477 or reach us at TylerWattsInsurance.com.
One thing I'm interested about, and I saw Kurt Warner talking about this in relation to Dak Prescott, and he used some tape of 2 guys running slant routes, and they both ran them at the same depth, and the quarterback was supposed to read the linebacker on which one to throw, the inside or the outside, depending on what that linebacker did. And he said they both run them at the same depth. He hasn't made the linebacker move, so I can't read either one, so it's an impossible situation for the quarterback.
You put no stress on that defensive guy to make a decision. And if he doesn't have to make a decision, he's not going to. And I can't read him if he's not making a decision on A or B, left or right.
So the route run has stressed the quarterback in this situation. So not everything is the quarterback's fault. So my question, as it pertains to Alabama, how's our guys at running routes? Are they good route runners? Is that something they're getting better at? Were they better at it this past Saturday?
Spacing is so much in the passing game. I don't. Look, I haven't been a halfway decent wide receiver since I was 10 years old in the backyard. Okay, I was pretty doggone good then.
Right.
But I know when I go down there and watch them in practice, they're quick, they're fast, they're able to create separation, they come out of breaks fast, all the intangibles that are involved with route running. But there's also that X factor that you can't teach. It doesn't really show up on a stat line. It's just the ability to bend a guy, create space like what a Travis Kelce does. You don't draw that up on a board, what he does. He understands spacing and where defenses are and presses them to create more open space. And the really good receivers are able to do that. And the ones that are just good at X to, A to point A to point B to point C, they struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is interesting for the fans, too, because when you see it drawn up on the board, it's a straight line when it does this, right?
Yeah, you can take a ruler and draw every route.
Yeah, but
that's not how the game's played.
That's not how the game's played. And how much of football now is that, okay, I'm running a route. Do I have options on the route I run depending on how the leverage is and what the hips are doing for the DB? Is that something as a receiver I'm reading, and I read that, and off of what the DB does and how he's covering me, do I turn it in, do I stop, or do I go? Is that an option by me?
I think a lot of times it is. Most offensive coordinators now, they don't want to be wrong with their play call. So they build in, depending on how intelligent their players are with understanding the concepts of what they're trying to achieve as well as their offense playing within it, they give them certain options based on what a defense presents because you can't predict everything. Defenses are so multiple now, and what the looks that they give you pre-snap versus what they go to post-snap, that you have to be able to adjust and amend on the fly, and that comes through experience and it comes through multiple reps.
Yeah, I like where the receivers are right now.
I think they're getting better. Yeah. I think they're getting better. And one good thing, you think about where we were 3 months ago coming out of camp, it was, oh my God, they can't catch the ball. A lot of drops. Well, knock on wood, they're doing a pretty good job of hauling these suckers in.
Knock right here. Little woodhead.
Speaking of Manscaped. And then they're doing a good job of hauling the ball in, so now it's just creating separation and finding those mismatches throughout the course of the game, and the guys continue to work in. We're still running a lot of receivers out there, but as the course of play went on in that Texas A&M game, you really started seeing just a couple guys out there on the field that were, hey, these are who we trust.
Okay, we're going to get right back to that game in College Station. Look ahead to Arkansas coming up. Show being brought to you, Talk of Champions, by our friends at Roback, roback.com. Promo code TNR20, TNR20, 20% off your first purchase there with roback.com. Great hoodies and other outerwear that you can get this time of year as the temperatures change for game day and also for your golf outing this time of year. Roback.com, that's with an R, roback.com. Promo code TNR20, 20% off that purchase there. Some great gear with our friends at Roback. So we go back to the win against Texas A&M. We talked about the receivers in the big game, Burton and Bond, but that was the game for Jalen Milroe, and we break him down every week. But you know, he was a guy that had 1 interception, had 6 sacks, but the dude never looked like he panicked 1 second of that contest.
You know, and just like in the Ole Miss game a few weeks prior, where he takes a huge hit but delivers a strike in the end zone to Hale for a touchdown. He pops up. He's been a different player ever since then. He took a hit down close to the red zone where he gets drilled in the back. We didn't see the pressure coming. We didn't have a guy to help block that fourth guy or fifth guy off the edge. And he gets squared up, fumbles the ball where we're able to recover it, and he immediately responds. So he is growing as a player of being able to push the last play behind him and be able to perform the next one. Unfortunately, there's a lot of still up and down. We see throws at wide open receivers. You throw it 15 yards over the head to immediately come back the very next play and drop a dime into coverage. Jermaine Burton had that little crossing route. I mean, you couldn't throw the ball any better than that. So we're seeing a little bit of everything, but he's continuing to take strides, steps in the right direction.
So he's continuing to grow in the position. You know, sometimes in a game, things happen and you're forced into a role that you never wake up thinking you're going to be in. And I thought what Will Riker did on Saturday was amazing because Anaya Smith is one of the nation's best return guys. And Burnip gets hurt, and here comes Will Riker, who isn't called on the punt. I know they probably practice it because he was so good at it, but he averaged 41.5 yards a punt with great hang time, that there was only 1 return. Most of it was fair catches against one of the best returners in the world. Explain to me, as a guy who played the game and probably doesn't really consider kickers athletes, some of you guys who play positions look down at the kickers, what Riker was able to do. You guys always make fun of kickers sometimes. What Riker did was amazing to me, you quarterback.
The kicker are the only people the quarterback can make fun of. So it's kind of like the whole Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi thing. You know, we always look down on somebody. No, he's a tremendous asset to this football team. His ability not only to win the field goals, but be able to come out in a backup role. I think every head coach across the country will take a 42 to 43 yard punt with no return. They'll take that all day long. Let's just turn the field position. You give me 42, 43 yards, and I'm happy as can be. He's a mature guy, and you think about the first punt that he had. He's backed up in the end zone. Now, me and you would have puckered up just a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
But
I was puckered watching it.
I bet you were. He's calm and collective, though, because he's been in these situations before, and it's nothing to him. Catches the ball, punts it down the field, holds his leg up there, gets run into it, and is absolutely irritated that he didn't get at least a running into the kicker penalty. He's a guy that you can depend on. And we're very, very appreciative. And if you don't believe that, go back and watch film for the last 15, 20 years. We have had some questionable times where punting is not something that you could really depend on, nor could you depend on field goal kicking.
Yeah, there's been national championships, one with some shanks and hooked lefts and rights.
And some opportunities that slip through the fingers because of the same.
Yeah, speaking of puckering up, always manscaped.com right there. Promo code TALK20, TALK20.
Danger close if you're puckering up.
They keep it safe when you're weed whacking down below there.
For the facial only, Jim.
That one is. We got tools for everywhere on the body, though. Make all the right decisions with our friends at Manscaped. Talk20, the promo code. Help us out with that Talk20 promo code, manscaped.com. Get an injury in the secondary. all right? And I want to give another shout out. So we asked Terrion Arnold. He didn't wake up thinking he was going to play star. He thought he was going to be the cornerback all day. Now you get an injury, and here comes Trey Amos in to play corner, and they move Terrion Arnold over to star. Why do you change two positions because of an injury and not just replace the star position?
Well, that star position is so multiple in what it's asked to do. So you're really looking on someone who understands the whole concepts of the defense and all the variations that go into it. Malachi Moore, because of all the years of experience that he has, he's that number one guy. But when he goes down and gets rolled up on a tackle, he comes out. Now you got to put your next best guy into it because you're playing a lot of nickel packages. Trey Amos, you get him over at the corner. I'm not saying corner's easy by any stretch, but it's, hey, this is your guy, lock him down, you're playing man coverage. A lot less variables that go into play. So you need the more seasoned player, the veteran, to be able to fill in. And look, these are all combinations that you're trying to anticipate throughout the course of fall camp and leading up to this. You're practicing them every week. He's down, he go in, you're getting plenty of reps here so that everyone understands their roles.
The offensive line, you talked about having some really good moments in that game. More good moments than bad moments. There were a few sacks, but more good moments than bad moments. What do you think of Jaden Roberts' play? Forced
going to point him out.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job. He brought a lot of energy there. They really weren't able to generate anything offensively running the football, but it wasn't because we were missing guys. It was simply because they're really talented. Or they would drop down an extra guy that we just couldn't block, and it was a one-on-one situation, which normally you'll take. They were just making the plays. But I thought he brought a lot of energy. He had several false starts, which are completely unacceptable. But that's a stepping stone. That's something that you learn from. That game experience, you're never going to have a more hostile environment until you get to Jordan-Hare later in the season. So for him to go in there and play as well as he did, that's a huge check in the positive column.
What about the 14 penalties? What do you think of that?
It's concerning because so many of them were mental errors that are unforced. They're just focus and concentration. Are you disciplined enough to hold your water in there as an offensive lineman and not have the false start? And we talk about this every week. This football team cannot hurt itself when it works so hard to get into favorable down and distances on first and second down to then have a false start to back them up. And every time that we do that, we come up just shy of a first down. So it ends up being the difference.
Yeah, drive killers are what they end up being. Nick talks about that all the time. I'm trying to make sure I've got everything from this game that I really wanted to get to before we move to talk in Arkansas.
No, you have not.
What?
Justin Aboigbe had the game of his life.
There you go.
The absolute game of his life. Again. Someone that we really haven't. He didn't get a lot of sacks because of the Chris Braswells and Dallas Turners that are also on the offensive line. But Tim Keenan being a leading tackler, Caleb Downs continuing to have the game that he did with the interception, and he's a second leading tackler on the team. But Justin Aboigbe, 2 big sacks, one of them for the safety. He had the best game that I've seen him in his Alabama career.
Yeah, and I should have brought up Caleb's interception because that was the one turnover, and you thought, okay, that was a bad turnover. The drive was really working, and to get that interception back, that's when I thought Alabama's going to win this game.
Yeah, and then that's when the tables turn.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful moment there. Let's look ahead to Arkansas coming to Bryant-Denny Stadium. We'll do that by telling you about our friends at MyBookie. If you've got some plays, whether it's in the NFL, college football, or of course in the playoffs in Major League Baseball, MyBookie can do it for you. MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag is the website you go to. Use the promo code NEXTROUND, and right now you still can get that 110% deposit bonus. 110% deposit bonus if you use the promo code NEXTROUND. Sign up. That's going to go away very quickly. MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag. And while you're signing up there, get some good winning plays from Lance'sLock.com. Lance'sLock.com. All right, Arkansas is coming to town. They're on a 4-game losing streak, but this becomes, to me, a little mental toughness for this team. Everything's good for you coming out of College Station. Home game against an opponent that nobody in the country is saying you're going to lose to. It's a 19.5-point spread at mybookie.ag.
Wow.
And this Arkansas team is trying to save its season, and they got a veteran quarterback in KJ Jefferson. When you think of Arkansas football, what do you think of first with Sam Pittman as the head coach?
I think that the first thought is that his players love playing for him. He's a motivational guy. He buys into them. He gets the most out of them. From an effort standpoint, that's the first thing that you think of. Now lay eyes on them. Watch them throughout the course of the season and tell me what you think of them. This is a team that has no quit in them whatsoever. And the 19-point spread, that's huge. Because when I watch Arkansas, I see a one-possession game against LSU where if they're able to punch the ball in the first quarter a couple of times inside the red zone instead of having to settle for field goals, they win that ball game.
In Baton Rouge.
In Baton Rouge. A one-possession game against Ole Miss late in the fourth quarter. And the same thing against Texas A&M, to where although they can't run the ball at all, and they're not getting the one-on-one shots downfield like what Alabama did last year, their defense is keeping them in the ball game. They're hanging in there just on the cusp of being able to make it a competitive game until a breakdown in special teams. So this is a football team that is not been getting run off the field. They've been losing, but it's been much closer than I think people realize all season long. You got a big, strong quarterback who's hard to bring down in the pocket. People don't realize how good of a thrower he is when he gets a clean pocket, and even when people, kind of like a Jared Lorenzen from Kentucky, people can be hanging on him, and he still is able to throw the ball downfield and make some plays happen. You've got good wide receivers. You don't see a whole lot in the running game, but you know with Rocket Sanders you have a threat there, and then defensively, and it just make you earn everything. It's one of those teams where they're not near as talented, but man, they're going to fight you.
Rocket Sanders has been banged up, so the running numbers have not been impressive, even with K.J. Jefferson running the football. This offensive line has given up, of Arkansas, has given up some protection with K.J. Jefferson, which means it's another big opportunity for the Alabama defensive line.
When you're one-dimensional, those are the type of things that present themselves. When you can't run the ball effectively and be balanced, me as a defensive guy, I'm teeing off. I'm coming after you because all you can do is throw the ball. So some of those numbers are a little bit skewed. But look, they have the pieces, and as you mentioned, they're trying to salvage whatever they can. And as long as they believe in their head coach, which I believe that they do, this is an Arkansas team that potentially, if you don't come out early and are sharp, they're going to make it a rough day for you.
The best thing they do is defend the run, which means it'll be another challenging day for Alabama trying to run the football. You feel more comfortable.
Better.
Because of what Jalen Milroe showed this past week of it saying, okay, we can't run it, you go throw to win it. Well, so you feel a little bit more confident that if that becomes the game, that Alabama can climb the mountain.
They're good, but they're not to the level that Texas A&M was. So I still think that Alabama's going to have some opportunities to run the ball, whether it be on the edge or up the middle. They're going to have plenty of opportunities to really kind of control that. But I think Alabama now really has a chance to be much more balanced in what they're doing. And if they're able to stay ahead of the change, that makes them that much more dangerous.
Okay, back at Bryant-Denny Stadium this week. It's an 11 o'clock kick. More on that in just a second because I'm going to ask Tyler about fifth grade science. But I want to remind you, mybookie.ag, if you want, and we always tell you, you should never do this to try to make a living. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you want to put a little wager on a football game or the baseball playoffs, mybookie.ag, use the promo code NEXTROUND, mybookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND, get a 110% deposit bonus because you watched the Talk of Champions here. Just throw that in there. Next round, the promo code mybookie.ag, and get all your plays at lanceslock.com. All right, so I think it's 12:08 on Saturday, there's going to be a solar eclipse. Fifth grade science, are you supposed to look directly at a solar eclipse?
Absolutely. You want to stare at it as long as you possibly can because he who stares at it the longest wins. Don't tell me y'all didn't do that back in the 007.
No, we did not. You did not want to try to stare.
Man, what's that up there? I know how y'all are.
Dude, you end up burning your eyeballs off your face. Don't look at it. I'm telling you and Chris Stewart, or you and Eli, don't look at it.
Will we be able to see it in all seriousness?
It'll be partial here.
Why are you looking up at the ceiling?
Because I'm trying to think of where it will be in the sky. It'll be over here for you. Overhang, I don't think you'll be able to see it.
It's going to be in the north?
No, I mean, you're right.
I'm on the east side.
I'm on the old press box. You're right. So you're over here now. So it's going to be slow. I think it'll be behind you. You won't be able to see it.
Okay, don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I forgot.
What you got to do is get a great big old cardboard box. That's how you look at it. You punch a couple holes in it. You look at the reflection or something or another.
Yeah.
Or you just get some really good sunglasses.
Or watch it on TV.
That's the best.
That's right. Just enjoy the game. Don't look up at the sun. And then go home on TV. I'm sure they'll show it a lot on television.
At 12:08, I'm not going to be focused on the sun. I'm going to be concerned a little bit about the performance of Alabama, though. Are they handling business, or have we got our hands full?
Dude, it's an 11 o'clock kick with two teams that will run the ball a little bit if they can. So at 12:08, it'll be about 2 minutes left.
In the
second quarter.
Okay, second quarter.
2 minutes left in the second quarter. You'll be thinking about, can I get to the hot dog line in the press box before they're all gone? Because I'm not there to bring them to you, which I've done in the past.
Thank you, Jim.
No, I don't think I did it for you. I think I did it for John Parker
You did
Wilson.
it for John Parker.
That's right. I did it for the other guy, John Parker Wilson. Or as we call them, the good old days.
You got to earn your keep, don't you, baby?
You do. Next time I'm at the Tennessee game, I'll bring you hot dogs at halftime. You like it with the chopped up stuff already on it, or you like it plain?
Yes.
Both?
As long as it's going to be with love from you.
Yes.
Therefore,
absolutely.
I will not eat it.
Speaking of love, how about our friends at Manscaped?
That's where I was concerned you were going with this one.
This is yours right here, manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Promo code TALK20. That's our promo code. Nobody else's. TALK20. Help us out. Manscaped.com. It is a great gift for the holidays. Take care of your man in your life or yourself. Manscaped.com.
The handyman.
Talk
I'm
20.
concerned you're going to name, that's going to be your new pet name. That's a little concerning.
All right, that's the Talk of Champions.